Tonia's coming first, right? So I let her lower third to go first. Is this the order they're coming in? They're gonna come in that order, right? This blows straight into my face. Is this one? You see it? Right there. That one. Yep. Yeah, that happened once, but I did happen. The cable fell on the button. She's gonna have
No, seriously.
Yeah, I think we have to send but so on this one,
Oh, really?
Ooh, Angela, it looks so important with those headphones. I had to wear those for 5 years when I was just doing Cardinals every night, every show. We talked so much crap here.
in my mind, if you're wearing that, you're working.
You are working. However you turn it. Sounds like she's making a children's song.
Ladies and gentlemen, NCBCP 25th Anniversary of the Spirit of Democracy Award Ceremony shall begin shortly. We would kindly ask that everyone would please begin to start taking your seats at this time. Thank you so much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are getting ready to begin our program. We would kindly ask that everyone can please take their seats at this time as we're ready to start our program. Thank you so much. Thank you very much as we're taking our seats at this time. Thank you. Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. We will begin our program with welcome remarks from Tanya Tyson, Vice President of Operations and Event Management from NCBCP. Please put your hands together and let's receive her at this time.
If the outfit for you, then I need to pose right. Good evening, everyone. I am Tanya Tyson, Vice President of Operations and Events Management. We are excited to have you join us this evening. After 2 years of being in the boxes, we are here. Now look to your side and say, we are here. It is only right to be here to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the Spirit of Democracy Awards Gala. They say the movement is only as good as the people and its leaders. I want to acknowledge Tommy Dorsch Jr., Chairman of the Board of the National Coalition, and of course, Madam President Melanie Campbell. She's the President and CEO of the National Coalition and also the convener of Black Women's Roundtable for her vision and leadership. Tonight would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, AARP, Airbnb, AT&T, Charter Communications, the Coca-Cola Company, Comcast NBC Universal, National Education Association, and Verizon Communication. And I would also like to thank Roland Unfiltered, our media partner. I would also like to take this time to thank the NCBC staff and professional team members for their hard work, dedication, and leadership throughout the year, and for making tonight special. Can I ask all my team members to stand up, please? And can we give them a round of applause? Congratulations to all the honorees tonight. I would like to personally thank you for the amazing job you have done, and we are grateful for you. Last but not least, I would like to introduce you to our comedian, actress, author, social justice advocate, creative strategist, sis star, and host for tonight's gala, Michelle, Indie Mom of Comedy. Can we give her a round of applause, please? We need music. You want your own music to come out in?
All right, y'all ready? Who's ready?
ready. I am so ready. Thank you, Tanya, for that introduction. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation, welcome to the 25th Annual Spirit of Democracy Awards celebration. Clap for yourselves. Tonight we are celebrating the diversity of our democracy by honoring very special individuals. They are exemplary leaders in our community and nation. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the Assistant Pastor, Reverend Bill Lee of Community of Hope AME Church in Temple Hills, Maryland, to give us our invocation. Can you guys clap for Reverend Lee? There he is. He's also our amazing photographer. Isn't that amazing?
First of all, my brother, Reverend Tony Lee, stood y'all up, so that's why I'm here. Y'all can let him know I told y'all that. I did want to share this one thing. When you look at the story of David, there's this moment in David's life where his camp was invaded by the enemy. Sons and daughters were killed. And it was so bad that when he got back with the army, his own army wanted to kill him. And the Bible says that David was distressed. But in that moment, it had a but. And it said, but he encouraged himself in the Lord. I share that on today because I believe that the work that you all do is the kind of work that sometimes has people that sometimes are supposed to be on your side who would want to see harm to you. And it can be distressing, it can get discouraging, it can make you want to give up and quit. But I want you to put your hand on your heart. I want you to tell yourself, I will not quit. I will not give up. I will complete God's assignment on my life. All I had you do in that moment was to encourage yourself. Matter of fact, now encourage somebody else beside you and tell them we're going to get this done together. Amen. Let's pray. God, in Jesus' name, we thank you. God, we thank you because in this moment, we thank you for the opportunity to exhale for a minute. God, still work has to get done. But in this moment, God, we thank you for this time to be with those who are our co-laborers who work in the vineyard with us together. God, we thank you, God, for the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. We thank you, God, for what it has meant in the struggle. We thank you, God, for the chair, Thomas W. Dortch Jr. We thank you, God, for his presence and your continued healing power over his life. God, we thank you, God, for our fearless leader, Melanie Campbell. God, we thank you, God, that as we stand beside her, we are like Aaron and her holding up her arms, because as long as we do the work together, God, we will not lose this battle. God, we thank you for every honoree, all those who are here, God, who are working so diligently and sacrificing of their time, God, to make sure that the work continues. We thank you for legacy. Legacy, God, that we shall continue to get to our children and our children's children. But hopefully at one point, God, they won't have to do the work because we're putting in all that we can do. Now, God, bless this time together. God, allow us to continue to just have fun on today, good food, good fellowship, and enjoy one another, because at the end of the day, we all we got. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right. Can we give Reverend Lee a good God bless you hand for that invocation? Can we do it for him? And so at this point, we want to take a moment to do a tribute
We have some amazing people who had journeyed with us, and they are no longer on this side of heaven. So this year, we lost several of our NCBCP family members who have passed on to join the ancestors. First, we lift up the extraordinary life of service and legacy of Dr. Yvonne Scruggs Lethbridge, who served on the National Coalition's Board of Directors and chaired the Nominations Committee for over a decade. Please let us take a look at Yvonne's life.
Do you have a philosophy of leadership that you follow or have followed, and has it changed over time?
Well, I think at the base of my philosophy is that I've been greatly blessed. I've been given a great deal, and that it's my responsibility to see that it stands for something. It's not going to be good to anybody if I die and I don't try to change things because I'm dead. That's it. And in the context of that philosophy, I have seen giving voice to those who have things to say but who don't have a voice is something that I can do. And so I write, I speak. I can remember my mother always saying when she would have confrontations with people, and my mother was not a person you would assume anything derogatory about, and she would say, if they treat me like that, I wonder how they treat Mrs. So-and-so, who would be someone who may not have finished school, was poor, and she would take off after them, having nothing to do with what they did to her, but recognizing that if people had the temerity to mistreat her, there were other people that they were mistreating on a daily basis, and that really is one of my guiding forces, that I see injustice, and I know that if I see injustice, if I am visited by injustice, there are a lot of people out here who are visited by injustice much more frequently than I am, and I have the voice and the power to try to change it, and that's what I ought to do. And it's really, I think, as simple as that. I think I could have stayed in business and made a lot of money, but in the final analysis, I want to feel, and it sounds cliche and trite, but I really do want to feel that I've made a difference, that I've left the world better than I found it. Now, I also am savvy enough to know that as soon as you leave someplace, it reverts to where it was before. So I don't know that the changes would be lasting, but at least I've got a responsibility to try. And I have tools that other people may or may not have that I can use. I write. I am not uncomfortable in any setting, and I know a lot of people.
Well, thank you for trying. Thank you for what you have done, and thank you for what you will do, and thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you for inviting me. I've enjoyed it.
God bless Dr. Lethbridge. We also lost Mr. James Ferguson, who served with distinction as our Deputy Director, Executive Director, and CEO of the National Coalition on Black Voter Participation from 1993 to 1997. So please let's take a look at Mr. Ferguson.
You're in the middle of this beautiful sci-fi environment.
Okay. So we also lost Mr. Stevens J. Carter, who was a visionary, contemporary artist, and visual scientist. I had the pleasure of knowing Mr. Carter and spending several times with him at his beautiful loft in D.C. and seeing some of his original pieces. He used to be a fixture at the Eastern Market. If you guys are familiar with the Eastern Market here in D.C., you could see him there on Sundays. So please, join me and join us in a moment of silence to lift up the life, legacy, and memories of Dr. Yvonne Scruggs Lethbridge, Mr. James Jeffro Ferguson, and Mr. Stevens J. Carter. Can we just take a moment of silence? Amen. Amen. Can we clap for them for that great life and great work? Great life, great work. At this time, we'd like to thank the National Coalition's 2022 Spirit of Democracy Awards executive producer level title sponsors for their partnerships. Join me in thanking AARP, AT&T, the Coca-Cola Company, Comcast NBC Universal, National Education Association, and Verizon. We also want to thank our center stage sponsor, Charter Communications, and Spotlight sponsor, Airbnb. Can y'all clap for them as well? How many of y'all stayed in a good Airbnb before? Anybody? Yes. At this time, we will receive greetings from two of our executive producer level partners, Ms. Tanya Leah Lombard, Vice President, Global Internal Public Affairs and Head of Multicultural Engagement for AT&T. Following Tanya, we'll be greeted by Ms. Jessica Zelke, Group Director, Federal and Diplomatic Relations for the Coca-Cola Company. So can you have me welcome them up right one after the other? Ms. Tanya and Ms. Jessica, please make your way. Whichever way works for you. You can go that way if you want.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Well, I was worried that I was going to speak after Tanya, but maybe she's not here yet, so I will go first. Thank you to everyone, especially thank you to Melanie, a longtime friend. On behalf of the Coca-Cola Company, I want to give congratulations to the Coalition on your 25th Annual Spirit of Democracy Awards Gala and the Intergenerational Roundtable. It's obviously so good to be here in person finally, feel the energy of the room, connect with each other, saw some old friends, and celebrate the high achievements of extraordinary public servants who are leading with amazing fortitude and might. I'd like to extend a warm welcome and a thank you to the Coalition staff. I know we have our state affiliate and board members here, the Black Women's Roundtable, and to the supporters, friends, and corporate partners like us who work with concerted purpose to advance the Coalition's mission. Again, I want to acknowledge Melanie, the dynamic, fabulous president and CEO of the Coalition. Her leadership has ushered the organization to higher heights and has elevated the voices of those who had no voice. Melanie's strong policy advocacy and strategic collaborations have been critical to successfully addressing the needs of under-resourced Black people, and for all that you do, thank you, Melanie. The Coca-Cola Company, yes, thank you. More applause. We'll keep doing it. The Coca-Cola Company and the Coalition are both committed to a better and stronger shared future for all. It's quite apparent why our partnership is so long-standing. At Coca-Cola, our purpose is to refresh the world and make a difference in the communities in which we live, work, and serve. We can activate our purpose through our partnerships. We believe it is right and necessary to have a barrier-free democracy and meaningful civic engagement. We understand the power of economic justice and entrepreneurship, and we know that the positive effects of mentorship, leadership development, and effective public policy formulates when Black women and girls convene. We are, yes, more applause, okay. So again, we are so proud to partner with the Coalition on the 4th Annual Black Women's Roundtable, Take It to the Top, Entrepreneurship National Challenge, as well as the Coalition's Tommy Dortch Jr. Southern Institute's Fellowship and Youth Economic Empowerment Project at Clark Atlanta University. That's a mouthful. Both programs are designed to provide Black women, girls, and college students access to invaluable tools and resources to innovate and ultimately build successful businesses. Indeed, we're very excited to support these efforts. I appreciate the opportunity to speak and not go after Tanya. It's an honor. I look forward to a robust exchange this evening at the roundtable and just more engagement with you here. So again, thank you. We're happy to be here.
We want to take a moment just to give them both another round of applause in absentia. We are so grateful for the partnership. Now we just want you to take a moment to enjoy your dinner just for a few. We're going to come back and have some more insights from our sponsors. We want you really to enjoy the spirit of democracy, so we'll see you real soon.
It's the same one that we have on the screen.
Now at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we will have our saxophonist for tonight, Antonio Allen. Please put your hands together. Let's receive him at this time.
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank Ms. Tanya for the opportunity, for giving me this opportunity to perform for you. I met her in Atlanta a few weeks ago at a gospel jazz event that was designed to get people out to vote. And I want to do one of the songs that she heard me do, because that's what I really do. I'm a gospel jazz artist. I travel the world prior to COVID, ministering with my horn, so I want to do some of that. I wouldn't feel like I did my job if I didn't play some of that, so I want to do that song for you.
I'll put a frame on him while he's playing. the second channel.
Start back up in 1 minute, just FYI.
Let's see how this sounds then.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Antonio Allen. Now at this time, we will welcome back to the stage our MC for tonight, Michelle.
All right. Can we please again just give Mr. Allen a round of applause for that amazing saxophone. So before we move on, there are some people that we want to acknowledge that are here tonight, and we're so happy that they're here with us. First things first, we want to acknowledge former Congressman Lacy Clay. Congressman Lacy Clay is now Senior Policy Advisor for Pillsbury. We're so happy to have you, Congressman. Can you stand? Thank you so much for being here with us. And we could not acknowledge this dynamic woman of God who's with us. She is the founder of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. She is a member of the board. But first and foremost, she was our former First Lady here in Washington, D.C. Please give it up for Cora Masters Berry. We have to acknowledge one other amazing friend of the organization of the coalition that's here with us tonight. Can we please, guys, can we clap for the Undersecretary of Commerce for Minority Business Development, Mr. Donald R. Cravens, Jr. Where are you, Mr. Cravens? Where are you, Mr. Cravens? Yes. We are so happy to have you here with us. So happy to have you here. So I hope you're having a great time tonight. At this time, we want to please have you all join me in recognizing our 25th Anniversary Spirit Awards executive producer, title partners, and sponsors, Comcast, NBC Universal, and the National Education Association, and Verizon. First, we'll receive greetings from Mr. Sean Mickens, Associate Vice President of he said, give me that check, External Affairs from Comcast, NBC Universal, where the check's clear. And then we'll hear from Ms. Christine Sampson-Clark, Executive Committee member of the National Education Association. And closing our sponsors' remarks, we'll hear from not only a beautiful woman, but a brilliant woman, Ms. Donna Epps, Senior Vice President, Public Policy and Strategic Alliances. So please, in that order, we're waiting for your remarks. Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thank you. Oh, my. Good evening, everyone. As Michelle just mentioned, my name is Sean Mickens. I'm Associate Vice President for External Affairs at Comcast NBC Universal. I wanted to take this time just to briefly thank Melanie Campbell for her tremendous leadership and her partnership. As I look across this room, I see a lot of friends, a lot of mentors, a lot of people that I've looked up to over the course of my career here in DC, and a lot of people that I get the pleasure of working with on a day-to-day basis as we continue to make our fights for digital equity, for economic empowerment, for communities of color, and everyone. What I will say very briefly to you guys is that Melanie Campbell is one of the most powerful women that I have ever met in my life. She commands her presence, her essence, her heart, her passion is one of the things that makes me enjoy the work that I get to do with her and many of the other partners that I've seen in this room today. I'm not going to spend too much time up here giving you long remarks on everything that we do as a corporation. What I will say is that we are a strong partner of NCBCP as well as the Black Women's Roundtable, and we look forward to continuing that partnership over the years. The last thing I will say before I take my seat briefly is that I would like to acknowledge at least one of our honorees, because I work for Comcast NBC Universal, and I should do this. But Jonathan Capehart, the host of MSNBC, the Sunday show on MSNBC. Thank you guys for all of your time. I was taught to be a good public speaker. You stand up so people can see you. You speak up so people can hear you. And you shut up so they can appreciate you. Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good evening. All right. Good evening. Members of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation. My name is Christine Sampson Clark. I'm a 9th grade math resource room teacher. That's right. From Trenton, New Jersey, and a proud, yep. Right, go Trenton. A proud member of the Executive Committee of the National Education Association. Yes, I am joined here this evening by our Vice President, Princess Moss, Secretary Treasurer, Noel Candelaria, and 4 of my 5 colleagues on the NEA Executive Committee, Ms. Handa Vandering, Ron Duff Martin, Mark Jewell, and Gladys Fatima Marquez, who is celebrating her birthday today. Yes, we are here this evening in support of the incredible and impactful partnership between NCBCP and the NEA. And we are especially excited to be here this evening to celebrate our very own, the one and only President Becky Pringle, the president of the largest labor union in the country, as she receives the Excellence and Equity in Public Education Workers' Rights and Social Justice Leadership Award. I can't wait. But before we begin the well-deserved recognition of all of the honorees this evening, let's take this moment to thank the founder, president, and CEO of NCBCP, Melanie Campbell. Melanie is visionary, courageous, and dedicated in her leadership. The NEA is so grateful to you and for our long-standing partnership. We are so thankful to NCBCP for all that you do in communities across this nation to fight for public education as the future of our democracy, including the powerful and magnificent Black Women's Roundtable, in which the NEA is proud to take part. In every way, Melanie, you are lighting the path forward for racial and social justice. You are helping to share the message that education justice means that every student needs and deserves a quality and equitable education. This evening, we are honoring dynamic individuals which are standing up for both racial and social justice in their respective communities and beyond. These fierce advocates are laying bare the inequities which present themselves each and every day. And for their extraordinary work, it is our esteemed honor and joy to recognize and celebrate all of the honorees this evening. And although we are taking this moment in time to pause and uplift some of our champions in this work, we keep our gaze steadfast and forward as we prepare ourselves to meet the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. As we continue on our journey, let's carry within our hearts the words of the esteemed educator Mary McLeod Bethune. If we have the courage and tenacity of our forebears, who stood firmly like a rock against the lash of slavery, we shall find a way to do for our day what they did for theirs. Thank you, Melanie and the National Coalition of Black Civil Partnerships. Through our partnership, we will continue to work together to build a future where every student, every family, and every community knows justice. Because when we fight together, we win together. Onward, and thank you.
Now at this time, please welcome Donna Epps to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. It is truly a pleasure to be here once again in person, finally, for this Spirit of Democracy Award celebration. First, I want to start off by thanking Melanie and the National Coalition for our long-standing partnership and for everything that they do every day to empower diverse communities to make their voices heard in our democratic process. I also want to congratulate all of the talented change makers who are tonight's honorees for all that they have done to impact and improve our country. The theme of tonight's celebration is so appropriate because all of us have a role in ensuring that every community can participate in the democratic process and that they have the support and tools that they need to do so. For us at Verizon, that means, among other things, helping to ensure that all communities, particularly diverse communities, can participate in and benefit from a world that is broadly and deeply connected. I just want to digress for just one moment, and I am the daughter of a Southern Methodist minister, but I promise you, as they say in the church, I won't be before you long, but as a policy professional, I just have to take this opportunity to raise an important issue that we've partnered with the National Coalition and Melanie on. Obviously, it's an understatement to say that COVID changed our world. It brought us together virtually, even as so many of us were forced to separate. But what it really underscored is how critical a role communications and especially internet access plays in all of our lives. At the same time, we all know, especially in this room, that the pandemic brought the stubborn inequalities in our society to the surface, and that reinforced the urgency that we needed to have in making real progress on closing this thing we talk about and we've talked about for over a decade of the digital divide. The National Coalition, and Melanie in particular, recognized the need, and they were early and vocal supporters of ensuring that Congress included in last year's infrastructure law, not just funding to build out broadband facilities, but funding to ensure that low-income families had the resources they need to address broadband affordability challenges. I want to thank Melanie for her leadership there. As a result, that law included an unprecedented investment in vulnerable families, providing them with a new program called the Affordable Connectivity Plan, which includes a $30 benefit for vulnerable families to use towards their internet costs. I just want to say that this was unprecedented and would not have happened if it had not been partners like the National Coalition and many other people in this room really prevailing on policymakers to go beyond build-out, but also to address adoption for broadband and affordability. The issue I want to raise is that funding for that Affordable Connectivity Program is estimated to run out by mid-2024. And we need to make sure that the ACP funding does not lapse, because although the pandemic may be subsiding, we all know that the needs of vulnerable families, the connectivity needs of vulnerable families has not subsided. And so given that, I want to just challenge all of us to engage, raise our voices, and not risk undermining all of the important adoption gains that we've made through that ACP, because millions of vulnerable families are counting on us to ensure that they can continue to rely on broadband thanks to the ACP benefit. Finally, I'll just say this. We're living in one of the most exciting times ever for technological advancement in communications. The next generation of leaders, who one day may be among the honorees in this room, will be mobilizing, organizing, and activating their communities online. Together, we can and should raise awareness about these tech policy issues impacting our community, and we should ensure that our nation's historic investment in broadband is inclusive and reaches those who need it most. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we clap again for our amazing sponsors? Can we do that? We could not do this without them. I want to take a moment to acknowledge that the chairman of the DNC is here with us tonight. Can we please acknowledge Jamie Harrison? Jamie, thank you so much for stopping by to hang out with us. Take your coat off, sit down for a while, have a cocktail. You gotta go. Yes, sir. What you say, sir? You better say that out loud for everybody. He said he got to get back to his wife. Thank you so much for stopping by and being with us. Again, can we clap for the chairman of the DNC? Now, it is my pleasure to welcome the chairman of this board of the National Coalition on Black Civic Participation. We want to welcome Mr. Thomas W. Dortch, Jr. and Ms. Christina Q., our Unity 22 National Campaign Manager. Tommy will bring remarks and presents the Chairman's Leadership Circle of Democracy Awards, accompanied by Christina. Y'all can do better than that. Y'all got to clap for this great man and woman. Come on.
Hey, handsome. Love you. Love you more.
Well, good evening. Some of my friends didn't recognize me when they walked in. I spoke to them, my 61 pounds later, but I'm here. It's been great. But before I get into my remarks that they wrote for me, they wrote me a Bible, so I'm going to go to the New Testament. I'm not going to go to the Old Testament here tonight. But I want all of the members of the board to please stand, because the work that we do is done by a team. All of the members of the board of the coalition, just stand and let's recognize the board. While this is our 25th annual anniversary of the spirit of democracy, this is our 46th anniversary of this phenomenal organization that continues to make a difference. Let's give up for that accomplishment too. But again, good evening and thank you for joining us tonight for this 25th anniversary. It's great for all of us to be back together. If you notice, I did wear my mask. Folks, don't get too comfortable because we're having over 100,000 new infections a day. This BA.5 is more contagious, while it may not be as impactful on the body. And many of you know that this is my 3.5 years of battling stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Usually it takes you out in 6 months. My former neighbor and good friend, John Lewis, that passed last year, one of our great civil rights leaders. But you know, God has a plan for me. I am focused. And at the end of the day, folks, and I say that to begin, when our time comes, it comes, but my late friend, Dr. Miles Monroe, said that the most valuable real estate in the world are the graveyards where people went to their graves with so much knowledge and talent and resources. And he says we should die empty. So every day I get up, I empty my life for the young people of this nation, for our community, and I am unapologetic for working to make sure that the African American community is strong and successful, because when we do what we have to do, all of our brothers and sisters, regardless of their color and race, we make this nation better. Because, as you know, I will not call a name, but there's this president that has divided this nation so much, former president, but it's us who must come together to rebuild the strength, rebuild the partnership, and work hand in hand, and that's what we're doing with the coalition and with so many partners. And let me move on, because it's a lot of great awards, but we're not going to be here until tomorrow. We're going to get this done tonight. So, again, the 2022 midterms elections are over. The coalition and all of our partners did a phenomenal job in making sure that we turned out in record numbers. We salute tonight's honorees for their exemplary work in our Spirit of Democracy Awards theme, celebrating the diversity of our democracy. Tonight's honorees are some of our nation's most extraordinary and transformational leaders of our times, who are leaders in the fields of public service, civil rights, voting rights, women's rights, business, labor, education, entertainment, media, social justice, and more. Whew. All right, anyway, but your voices also play a critical role in strengthening our democracy of this nation. I also believe it is important, is again at a crossroads. When voting rights, reproductive freedom, and let me just say, if there was a law passed that every man that got a woman pregnant and didn't take care of their children, didn't marry them, they would be castrated, you would never see any more laws like what we've seen today. We have to remember, without women, this world ceased to exist. God did not make a mistake. Men may make a contribution, but it's the women that takes us to 9 terms, the 9 months. And us old men and adult men, first thing we say is, I want my mama. And so how can we do that with my 3 daughters, with my 6 grandchildren? I will fight for the rights of women until the day I die. So that is so important. It is also important when we look at these attacks on racism, when we look at racism in this nation, when we look at hate crimes that continue, when we look at white supremacy on the rise and income inequality and lack of wealth challenges our communities face, and justice for some and not justice for all cannot continue, and all of us working together, we can change that. It is also important to address these issues because I challenge each of us tonight across this country, again, from different races, different classes, our children will inherit what we left. And it's important that we leave this nation and this world a better place than what it was when we got here. And so it's very important we continue to work together. To address these issues, I challenge us to come together across gender, age, and as we look at where we are now, it's important for us to understand that there are those of our color who are not of our kind. Herschel and Clarence, I'm talking about you. But there are those of our kind who are not of our color. And so we need to work together and understand, though, when swimming in shark-infested waters, you treat all unidentified fish as sharks. We're also grateful to all of the partners, we say sponsors, but the investors into this great organization who continue to invest in so many organizations in this nation that make a difference. Our corporate leadership and foundation leadership are at the best. Let's give it up for our partners again tonight. Further, I honor the national coalitions, again, as I said, directors, and my mentee. I grabbed Melanie, I won't tell you how many years ago, when I was the associate director of the Democratic Party of Georgia and youth director for the NAACP. She and a group of young students were kicking it up at Clark Atlanta University, at Clark College, making a difference, and I also am smart. You know, all smart people don't earn PhDs, you hire them. I didn't have any money, so I just went out and recruited them, and Melanie has not looked back. Give it up for Melanie Campbell, our president. Let me get on into my task tonight. Of course, I cannot say enough about the 12 state affiliates and the partners who over 80-plus member organizations in this organization. I represent on this board the 100 Black Men of America. All of my brothers who are here from the 100, please stand and be recognized. All of our affiliate members and organizations, please stand and be recognized. We thank each and every one of you making a difference. And so in closing, please again, I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for your investment in your tickets and tables tonight. But let me get right on with my task. Now let me get down to the business of presenting this year's Chairman's Leadership Circle Awards, who will be joining me, this phenomenal lady, Christina, going to do her thing tonight. So Christina, thank you for joining me, and now let me move in. Unfortunately, we learned this afternoon that Congresswoman Sewell is unable to join us tonight because she is under the weather with the flu. And the flu is just as dangerous. People are dying of the flu. I went last Thursday, got my flu shot, got my third booster, slowed me down a little bit, but I'd rather be slowed down than put 10 feet under. Or is it 8 feet under? Again, folks, protect yourself and protect the ones you love. So, I'm honored to introduce the 2022 Chairman's of Excellence in Public Service and Voting Rights Champion Leadership Circle Award to Congresswoman Terry Sewell. Congresswoman, we salute you tonight for your exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to civil rights, economic empowerment, and social justice. Christina, again.
And Congresswoman Sewell, good evening, everyone. Congresswoman Sewell, we also honor you for your leadership as an advocate for workforce development, skills training, and quality jobs creation, especially in rural communities in the Black Belt and Southern region. Thank you, Congresswoman Sewell.
All right. So again, Congresswoman, we present you the 2022 NCBCP Chairman's Leadership Circle Spirit of Democracy Award, and pray for your swift recovery. We now have a video acceptance from Congresswoman Sewell.
I'm Congresswoman Terry Sewell, and it's on behalf of the 750,000 residents of Alabama's 7th Congressional District that I humbly accept this prestigious award. While I wish I could be with you in person, as they say, even the flu can't keep a good woman down. It is my honor to be a recipient of one of the 2022 Spirit of Democracy Awards. I want to thank Melanie Campbell and the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation for their commitment to voting rights and racial justice and their persistent advocacy on behalf of our community. I am proud to call them a partner as we strive to hold our nation accountable to the highest ideals of equality and justice for all. I am proud every day to represent the great people of Alabama's 7th Congressional District in the House of Representatives, and to carry with me the legacy of the foot soldiers who fought, bled, and some even died for the equal right of all Americans to vote. It is in their honor that I proudly carry the seminal piece of legislation, the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, to fully restore the protections of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Tragically, across the nation, we're seeing old battles become new again as states pass measures to restrict voter access. We're up against a Supreme Court that is hell-bent on destroying the Voting Rights Act of 1965. It has never been more urgent to restore federal oversight in our voting process than now. It will remain my top priority in Congress until it is signed into law. I often say that change rarely comes in the halls of Congress. Instead, it bubbles up from grassroots activism and ordinary Americans demanding that this nation make good on its founding promise. It has been the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation and the Black Women's Roundtable that have been answering this call to action. I am forever grateful for your many advocacy efforts and know that we will continue to work together until we get the John Robert Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act passed and signed into law. It is also in the memory of John Lewis that I accept this award humbly, and I say to all of us, let's all get into some good trouble.
Okay. It is my honor to introduce our next honoree, Jonathan Capehart, Associate Editor of the Washington Post and anchor of the Sunday show, MSNBC. Jonathan, we again salute you for the trailblazing leadership in journalism and exceptional storytelling focused on the critical issues impacting our nation and world, including the intersection of social and cultural issues of politics.
And Jonathan, we are also honoring you for your leadership as an advocate for equity, equality, and dignity for all people, most especially African American people and the LGBTQ plus communities. Thank you. Congratulations, Jonathan.
Okay. Jonathan, we present you with the 2022 NCBCP Chairman's Leadership Circle Trailblazer and Excellence in Journalism Spirit of Democracy Award.
Thank you.
Let's move to the front. He's getting ready to do his thing in a few minutes. It is now my pleasure to introduce the next Chairman's Circle Leadership Award to Dr. George French Jr., President of the Clark Atlanta University. I have the honor and pleasure of serving as a trustee of Clark Atlanta University's Board of Trustees, and I am also a 1976 graduate of Atlanta University, now Clark Atlanta University. This man comes to, let me see the hands of those who know the late Dr. W.E.B. Du Bois. Most folks don't know that all of his work was done while a professor on the campus of Atlanta University.
That's right.
And when you sing, lift every voice. James Weldon Johnson, a professor at Clark Atlanta University, wrote Lift Every Voice while a professor on the campus of Clark Atlanta University. Morehouse College and Spelman College were established in the basement of Atlanta University, and the list goes on and on. It is the granddaddy of the center, but we're all brothers and sisters. And since hiring this phenomenal man, in 3 years and a few months, he has raised over $400 million new dollars for Clark Atlanta University. It is my pleasure to present, again, Dr. George French Jr., Clark Atlanta University. We salute you for your visionary servant leadership and lifetime commitment to excellence in higher education, especially Clark Atlanta University and other historically black colleges and universities, and the work you do as the past president of the Atlanta University Senate Presidents, and next in line to be the chair of the United Negro College Fund Presidents. He's already moved into that role as a chair. But your work by ensuring the future of historically black colleges and universities has made a difference, but more importantly, for our students so that they achieve academically, socially, and can dream their dreams and make those dreams come true.
And Dr. French, I want to take a personal moment of privilege to say thank you for your hospitality at Clark Atlanta University for our Thomas W. Deutsch Institute. So we appreciate you. But we are also honoring you for your outstanding leadership and dedication to racial, economic, and social justice for African Americans, other people of color, and underserved communities. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I'll stand on your side a little bit more. As you know, for years we have been talking board on a Southern regional office. Dr. French stepped in and said, no, we're not waiting any longer. Let's do it now. We have our Southern regional office on the campus of Clark Atlanta University and the NCBCP Thomas W. Deutsch Jr. Institute on that campus. Let's give it up to Dr. French. Again, it is my honor at this time to introduce the next Chairman's Circle Leadership Award honoree, to Ms. D.C. Marshall. My sister takes no prisoners, and she has been phenomenal. It is my honor to present our Where's DC's stuff? Let me get to mine. It is my... It's not here. Okay. Folks, this lady has done more than I can tell you in a matter of minutes. She's a phenomenal partner. But we're also honoring her for her exemplary leadership. Diverse and Engaged LLC. We salute you for your exceptional leadership, vision, and unwavering commitment to racial and ethnic diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you have put us front and center in print, on TV, on radio, on social media, and anywhere else. This sister is a bad sister.
Yes, I'm so excited about this award. This is my personal friend and sister. We are also honoring you for your leadership, your innovation, and dedication to coaching and mentoring the next generation of Black and other women of color entrepreneurs, just like me, and social agents nationally and globally. So we thank you, Dee, and we love you so much. Congratulations. Step up a little bit. Yeah, step up.
All right, I'm getting through. The next Chairman's Circle Leadership Award honoree is Becky Pringle, President of NEA, and they do a phenomenal job in this nation. It is my honor to present our next award again to Becky Pringle. It gives me great pleasure. It gives me great pleasure to present this Chairman's Leadership Circle of Excellence and Equity in Public Education. She's fought for workers' rights, social justice, and spirit of democracy. This award is tailor-made for her. Becky, we salute you for your exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment and investment in ensuring our nation's public school systems is racially and socially just and equitable for the students, for all students to succeed in this global diverse world.
And Miss Becky Pringle, I appreciate your work because both of my parents are educators, but we are also honoring you for your leadership as a fierce advocate for racial, gender, economic, and social justice for people of color, the LGBTQ plus community, disabled, low income, and other marginalized communities. So thank you for your work, Ms. Becky.
So again, it is my pleasure to present to you Becky Pringle, this award, and all 5 of my children are public school graduates. And at this time, I have 14 grandchildren. 13 are in public school, and the last, my phenomenal 7-month-old lady who rules the house, will be going to public school. It was good enough for me, for my sisters and brothers. I can pay for any private school, but public education is so important, and that's where my children went, and that's where my grandchildren will be. That's me, right?
Can we please clap for all of these amazing honorees? Before we get into our quick panel, our roundtable, just 2 questions, we have to acknowledge a couple other people who are in the room. You guys have heard him over and over again, but I'm going to acknowledge him. Can we please acknowledge Dr. David Johns, who is the president of the National Black Justice Coalition? Dr. David Johns. Dr. David Johns. Being blackety black, 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 we thank you. We thank you. We also have to recognize that Mr. Tommy Dortch is also the chairman of the 100 Black Men of America. Can you please, if you are a member, if we have any of the 100 here, please stand and we recognize. Yes. Excellent. 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 We also want to take a moment to acknowledge that the executive director of the National Council of Negro Women is with us tonight. Can we clap for Ms. Janice Mathis? Where are you, Janice? Yes. And one more acknowledgement. I want to just say this. Janice, you and I stood a lot on those cold days and hot days in the summer. We was out there working with the National Coalition of Black Women's Roundtable. We thank you for your dedication. We thank you for your hard work. We love you. We love you so much. Last but not least, gotta recognize another one of our sorors, the amazing, outstanding president of the A. Philip Randolph Institute and director of the Civil Rights and Women's Rights for the AFL-CIO. Can we please just acknowledge Ms. Cleola Brown? Cleola Brown. Cleola Brown. All right. Testing. Let's make sure everybody's mic is. So we're going to take a couple of moments to hear from our amazing honorees. We have just 2 questions for them because we know that they have so much to share. And so I'm just going to ask one question of each of you and ask you to answer it, respectively. You want me to start that way, Jonathan? Why? Because you said so? John said I got to start this way because he said so. We're going to start this way because you said so. us a little bit about what it means to you to receive this year's Chairman's Leadership Circle Award, Jonathan, of Spirit of Democracy. Can you tell us a little bit what it means to you?
I have to tell you, when I got the email first, and then I happened to see Melanie at the screening of Loudmouth for Reverend Al's documentary, and she said, you know, we want to give you an award for your journalism. And my mouth just dropped. Because for me, being a journalist is not about notoriety or recognition. It is about telling the truth and telling stories about people or issues that are getting overlooked. And so for anyone, but particularly this organization, to say the work you've been doing is worthy of recognition is, I can't tell you how humbling it is. And so it truly does mean the world to me.
Thank you, Jonathan. We're going to go right here to Dee Marshall. Dee Marshall, what does it mean to you, sis?
Yeah, so I would say similarly, you know, when I got the email from Melanie, I was really shocked because I work with Melanie and a lot of the folks in the room, and, you know, she could have chosen anyone of, you know, the giants in the room. So many great champions of our communities and leaders of the culture are doing amazing work. Right. And so it was also really humbling. And I have been doing this work for some time, and, you know, we just do the work. We don't think about celebrating. Oh, come on, that would be Dr. David John. But what it means is, you know, I think for the board, like knowing how this perhaps went down, you know, the board and the people who are around the table, you know, I look at Donna here, of course, and the Honorable Cora Masters-Berry and Tommy W. Dorsch. I knew how the conversation went down. And so what it means to me is that the work is good, but the work is additive, and the work is of value, and the work is necessary, right. And we see you. Yep. And it was very humbling from that perspective for the giants of our community and right. The gatekeepers of our culture to say, we see you, and yes, that work too is good. So it was very meaningful in that way. And it just, you know, I think part of it is, it means, you know, you are doing well, because, you know, the gatekeepers of the community be like, look, this seat is not for you, right. And you know you need to do and make sure you're holding the seat for somebody else. For, you know, they'll tell you for poor people, for black people. Right. And so to have the leader say, yes, you, is very humbling. So I'm very grateful. I thank you so much to the board, to all of the corporate members here, just to acknowledge me. I'm so grateful for you all. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dee. Becky, what does it mean to you?
Oh my goodness. It's always humbling to receive an award, but I always remember that my ancestors paved the way for me.
That's right.
And that they are there to fall back on like a cushion when it gets hard, or when we think that the purpose we've been called to is more than we think we are ready to step into. I don't ever receive an award on my behalf. I receive it on behalf of them, my ancestors, my parents, and of course, the 3 million members of the largest labor union in this country. The National Education Association, you heard, we got all our leaders here, we got state leaders here, we have staff here, and this is an award for all of them, because I, Becky, don't do this work alone.
That's right.
I do it with not only my incredible team, but I do it with the people in this country who have made the decision to take care of, to teach, to nurture, to lift up, and celebrate, to see and to hear the children of this country. I thank you so much for this honor, and I will take it back with me and say to my folk, we're not done yet.
Say that. Yes, indeed. Dr. French, what does it mean to you?
So let me thank colleagues. First of all, let me thank my fellow honorees, and you honor me by being amongst your midst. And I want to thank everyone that's here this evening for this celebration. The significance of this celebration to me and the impact was not really felt until I hit the ground and I'm at some hotel across from the White House, and we couldn't get to the hotel because of the delegations of the African Summit. And let me tell you, I don't know about you, but my spirit swelled up when I saw and witnessed our nation celebrating what someone else, I won't say what he called those, but those countries are now here celebrating all week long, those African countries. So I celebrate, my wife and I were recently in Ghana, door of no return. You all know the significance and how the ancestors, they spoke, they will speak to you as they spoke to me. The beauty of it was, the message that I received on my last visit was how the true diasporists, who most of us are, will unite with those on the continent now who are ascending to power, and will have exponentially more opportunities economically for all of us to be self-sufficient because of the continent. They raped us, colonized us for those years, but now it's time for us to come back around and take advantage of home and go back home. Come on, y'all. You all know I'm right about that. That's what I'm celebrating. So when I look and I see celebrating the diversity of our democracy, I thought about Melanie. I thought about my trustee at Clark Atlanta University, Thomas W. Dortch, who unequivocally, and I will unapologetically say, right now I have the privilege of being the longest serving HBCU president in the nation. In the nation. So you all know what that means. So I was sitting at Miles, minding my own business, had been president there for 15 years. I was recruited, didn't want to do it, but one person, when I got his call, I said, oh, heck, I need to start packing my bags. When Tommy called and said, I need you, I came. Then he introduced me to Melanie and this organization, and I thank you for this award. It means the world to me. I am you all's ambassador. I appreciate you all's attention, and I thank you for this huge honor. Thank you.
My God. Thank you, Dr. French. Thank you all. Our last question to each of you. Each of you has impacted our nation in profound and impactful ways. Can we say $400 million to Clark? Ain't nobody talking back to me. Can we say $400 million? To a HBCU. I just had to say that. Through your leadership and your work, from public policy to education, economic empowerment, journalism, right? And further, our nation is enduring unprecedented challenges to our rights, freedoms, and democracy. In what ways are you addressing these challenges in your work? And how are you paying it forward? Just a 2-minute response. We're going to start with you, Becky. Becky, we're going to start with you. How is your work making the impact?
So, one of the things that I want to share with you is thank you, Tommy and Mel, and a couple of folks in this room. When I became president 2 years ago, in the middle of a raging pandemic, Mel said to me and Cleola, "We got you, Becky. We got you." And you know what that means. You know what that means. So when I said to our members, our 3 million members, our leaders, the vision that I had for the National Education Association, and they looked at me, "Really, Becky, that's what we're gonna do?" But folks like Mel embraced me as a leader and said, "Yep, we're gonna help you do that, Becky." That not only will we unite the members of the National Education Association, but the entire nation to reclaim public education, Tommy, as a common good, as the foundation of this democracy. That's what we're going to do. But we're not stopping there, because we can't. We've got to actually transform it into something it was never designed to be. A racially and socially just and equitable system that prepares every student, everyone to succeed in a diverse and interdependent world. That aspirational vision isn't something that we can do by ourselves. We need partners and allies like you. We need to address the inequities in every single social system in this country that impact children's ability to come to school prepared to learn every day. Every system impacts that. And so as we take these next steps as the National Education Association, I want to invite all of you to join our movement, because our students, our babies, are depending on us to be worthy of them.
Thank you so much, Becky. Dee?
Yep, so I'll add in brief. So 2 ways that, that we're impacting, or the impact work that we do at Diverse and Engage. So it's in the corporate space. So that's the work that we do at Diverse and Engage, where we speak 3 languages: leadership development, workplace culture, and diversity. So workforce, we're holding corporate accountable. Accountable beyond the performative acts after the diversity tipping point. So you all know the diversity tipping point, the period beginning May of 2020, when corporate America acknowledged that we are anti-racist and Black lives, air quotes, do matter. And they begin making charitable contributions. That's good and that's great and it was wonderful. But we want to make sure that that continues to happen. And so when we're 2 years and 3 years out, and then, you know, the resources stop, that's a problem for our communities. And so that's one part of the work that we're doing, holding corporate accountable to beyond performative, but impact work in our communities. Because if the corporate folks here don't have jobs, if, you know, if Donna isn't in the seat, right? If Tanya isn't in the seat, although we know Tanya's never not gonna be in the seat, but if that doesn't happen, then yes or yes, Nicole needs to be in the seat. Because when our folks are in the seat in corporate, then our communities still get the love and the funding and the resources that we need. Yes or yes, somebody, right? Because if they're not in the seat, yes or yes, somebody. If folks that, we aren't in the seat, well, I mean, I'm clear in terms of how this happened. If Sean isn't in the seat, if Chanel isn't in the seat, if Janae is not in the seat, come on, somebody. If Heather Foster is not in the seat, y'all gonna act like it's gonna, no, okay. So, but the work in terms of the impact is holding corporate accountable. We have to be able to respectfully apply pressure because they need us. We need each other. And so that's one part of the work. of the work that we're doing. And then the second part is in the supply chain with, diverse businesses, making sure that we still have opportunities. So I know Don Cravens is here, hey Don, I see you over there, but had the pleasure of having a meeting with Don Cravens 2 weeks ago. Natalie Cofield and Walker's Legacy convened 10,000 capital-ready Black women. And so part of the work that we are doing in terms of impact is making sure that we hold corporate accountable so that we still have opportunities. Does that make sense? And so that is the impact work. You all get this? And so that's the impact work that we're doing at Diverse and Engage in terms of contributing to all of this. And then in terms of how do we pay it forward, because certainly we can't pay it back. We cannot pay Melanie Campbell back. We cannot pay Tommy Dorch back. We cannot pay it back. But the last thing that I would say is we're paying it back in this season, different from last season, is I met with the U.S. ambassador to the Gambia a month ago. I was in Senegal and then the Gambia, and how we're going to pay it back is we're going to support the continent. We're going to act like we know where we came from. We're going to do a cultural deep dive. We're going to act like we daughters and sons of the soil. Because when I got off the plane and I was in the Gambia and Senegal, they said, oh, welcome home. And what I learned is that Africans are different from African Americans. They know us better than we know us. Say out your amen, somebody. Say out your amen. They said, listen, welcome home, daughter. And the only difference between you, D, and me, D, is I know my ancestors, I know my tribe, and you all don't. And so how we are going to pay it forward is we've committed to starting a leadership institute. So we're going to do a partnership with the University of the Gambia, and we're looking for an HBCU to partner with to do cultural reverse journey so we can go back home and find our roots. Say amen, somebody. Okay, come on, ancestry. Come on, African ancestry. Say amen, somebody.
Dr. French leaned up in the seat.
Yes. And so we're going to do that. So okay, Dr. Yes. Okay. And so that is how we pay it forward. We're going to establish a leadership institute, and then we're going to empower women there because they still have gender issues and child marriage. And so that is the impact that we're going to do there. Excited to be able to support girls in college in the Gambia and also to be able to anchor there. So that is how we are creating impact, and we plan to pay it forward. And again, I want to thank all of the board and Melanie Campbell for just this wonderful opportunity. Thank you.
Outstanding. We're going to slide it over to journalism. I want to know, from your perspective, how are you going to impact, Jonathan, as this amazing award-winning journalist that you already are, impacting our world? A truth teller. Can we clap for a truth teller?
Thank you. And this is a wonderful divide, because we've already heard from my fellow 3 honorees, and they exemplify why I am humbled to get this award and to be in their company. These are 3 people who are actually doing. They're doing the work. They are educating the next generation. They are leading a union and teachers and how many millions of people? 3 million people. And then we just gotta. And then everything that you're doing concretely to impact people's lives. I'm just someone who writes. I'm just someone who talks. I work for 3 major news organizations, not on purpose, but delightfully by accident. The Washington Post, one of the nation's premier newspapers. MSNBC, where, one of the nation's preeminent cable networks. And PBS NewsHour, which is public television. It wasn't until I succeeded Mark Shields, who was the longtime, it was Shields and Brooks, the Friday night segment. It wasn't until I was asked to succeed him. He'd been in the job for 33 years. It wasn't until then that I understood just how concretely, how powerful it is for me to be in that seat. I'm the first African American to be in that seat. I'm also the first out gay person to be in that seat. At MSNBC, it is not lost on me that I am an out gay, married black man with a national television show. And at the Washington Post, for the last 15 years, I've been an African American, out gay, married African American man on the editorial board at the Washington Post, a columnist at the Washington Post, an anchor for Post Live events. I say all of that because it has been brought home to me that just my mere presence on television, in print, is impactful for people I've met and so many more I haven't met. And so the only thing that, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep writing, I'm gonna keep talking, I'm going to keep putting Melanie and Cora on TV and others on television, because they can come on and they can speak the truth. I'm gonna get you on. Because they can speak the truth. And the way I pay it forward is by my own personal work ethic is to be as excellent as I can be. Because if I do well, the people who want to be me 20 years from now, it'll be much easier for them.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. Dr. French, bring it home for us. We already know that you're making great impact in our space, but we ask you, what do you share with us how you plan to impact the great work you've already done?
So, colleagues, let me first go to my colleague, journalist. If I were to ask within the room how many of you all are Christian, it would be the propensity of this group would be Christian, based upon not what Simon of Cyrene did in carrying the cross, not what different people did, but based upon, your faith is based upon what Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John said. The journalists, the scribes of that time. So what you do is vitally significant, and I became a little uncomfortable. You said, I'm just. I'm sitting there, no, you're not just. But then, okay, so you're not just, but then you got me, you flipped me, because you start off like I'm just. But then, damn, you went down the resume like, now I'm the man, is what I really am, and you better recognize. Congratulations.
Receipts.
He ran his receipts.
Thank you. So thank you, brother, and thank you again to all of my honorees, and to the hostess, thank you for this evening. Very quickly, what we've done, what we're doing, the Propel Center, there's only one $3 trillion corporation in the world, Apple. Mr. Trustee, we were able to develop a relationship with Apple, where Apple decided to invest $100 million in having a global hub of innovation and technology for HBCUs, whereby they would give all of their resources to make sure. Give a good example, very quickly. I've got students at Clark Atlanta University, Spelman, Morehouse, AU Center, right? I heard you, right? That when we go to the center, if there is a top German lecturer, that person will be there via hologram. talking and speaking to those students as if the person is actually there. That's the technology that is developed, and the announcement was recently made that this innovation center will be at Clark Atlanta University. That's what we're doing now to make sure, okay? We're making the investments for the future. However, this is the big one. The investments for the future, guys, colleagues, will be in how we win elections based on data and data analytics, which was said, W.E.B. Du Bois, as my faculty member, specialized in data, information, infographics. How we win elections and control our communities will be our destiny. So our investment of millions in research in that effort will guide our destinations. Second thing, we have to make sure, okay, so, well, no, that's a little political. I'm gonna skip that one. So the last one I would say is Clark Atlanta University. We're very specific. We have the largest academic prostate cancer research center in the world. Prostate cancer, if I could hear the brothers, if I could hear anybody impacted, which is everybody, by prostate cancer, we have now 4 patents. What I'm saying to you, we're talking about diversification of revenue streams for long-term sustainability. Can you imagine if Clark Atlanta University comes up with the cure for prostate cancer? Have you heard of, what is it, Gatorade, University of Florida? We will be set, but more importantly, not just us, we will be the paradigm and the model for sustaining historically black colleges into the future as we diversify our income streams so that we can fund ourselves organizations like this, Melanie Campbell.
Thank you so much, Dr. French. Thank you so much, everyone. Can we just stand and give the panel? Yes. Can we clap for them? Was that not amazing? Bill, if you can come up and get a photo of the panel. Bill, and get amazing. That was the chairman's, guys. Can we clap for Chairman Thomas Dortch, please? We're going to keep it rolling. We got the President's Leadership Circle Awards. Now, it's my pleasure to welcome the National Coalition's President and CEO. Y'all already know, y'all heard all about her, but we got to give her a quick intro. The convener of the Black Women's Roundtable, Ms. Melanie Campbell and Daryl Coles, the Black Youth Vote Project Assistant, to the stage. Can you please help me bring them up?
How y'all doing out there? Can we give our chairman, Thomas W. Dortch Jr., a round of applause, and all of our Chairman's Leadership Circle honorees. I did want to take a quick point to lift up a couple of folks I see in the room. Dwayne Crawford, Executive Director of Noble, Black Law Enforcement. I think I saw Felicia Davis, Director, HBCU Green Fund. And both of them also serve on the board. Have we missed all the, Tommy, you've already lifted the board members, but can the board members in the room please stand one more time? National Coalition board members. Wave your hand, Ms. Berry. Yeah, well, ouch.
I had remarks, but a lot has been said, and I promise that we are not going to be seeing 1201 in here. So I'm going to, again, first of all, just thank everybody. You know, it's December the 14th. I do want to take a pause and I want you all to lift up one of our board members, one of my sisters, one of our dear sisters who lost her son, Latasha Brown, 2 days ago. Kiambe, known since he was yay high, and those mothers and fathers who've lost or know anyone who knows that, I just lift her. And I can't let this night go by without lifting our sister as she walks that walk. And so I have my brother here, Daryl Coles. Come over here, Daryl. And so I will, like I said, I had a whole lot to say, but enough's been said. But I will thank all, again, of our sponsors. I thank all of you all. We're so close to the end of the year. It's been a rough year. It's been an exciting year. Is that Earl O'Neill in the corner? Is that Earl O'Neill back there? I think it is. I said blast from the past. Used to be with AFL-CIO. But we did the thing. We saved this democracy. One more time. So this democracy owes us, you think? So Dr. King said, can we cash that check one of these days? So as we close out this year, think about all the people who aren't with us tonight. Think about all the people who can't be in this room with us tonight. We are the blessed ones. We are the quote-unquote privileged ones. But so many people been on that road for 3 months with that power in the ballot campaign. I hadn't had a chance to do that in a long time. But we saw so much when we went to Cora. We started in Ohio. Then we went to Florida. Then we went to Georgia. Then we went to Pennsylvania. Thank you, because I'm Michigan. Then we went back to Florida. And we closed out in Georgia. And then we had to close out again in Georgia. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you to all of our states, but we got to call the road. Thank you, Ohio. Well, Ohio didn't do much, but they did the best they could. They did the best they could. Don't tell Petey I said that, y'all. She's going to be mad at me. But thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Michigan. Thank you, Georgia, and any other state that helped save this democracy, because we showed up and we showed out. But the enemy don't sleep. They ain't gone nowhere. They just regrouping. So I ask us, are we regrouping? We ready, Becky? So let me stop. I got that Baptist A&B getting hit in the back. So we're going to get on with this program. Hallelujah. My sister going to be like, oh, practice without a license. And my long dear friend, I cannot not lift up a brother who I've known for 30 plus years, longer than that. I was a child prodigy going to Clark. But my good friend Stan Savage in the room, who I know serves on the board, and I can call on at any time. Thank you so much, my brother, for being here. So we're going to get ready. You ready, Daryl? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. So, excellence in cultural expressions and civil rights advocacy leadership. Our first President's Leadership Award goes to Ms. Anjanou Ellis, Oscar nominated in
Emmy Award-winning actress and producer, Ms. Anjanou Ellis. Unfortunately, she could not be here tonight because she's filming and they won't let her come. Got to take care of that check, right? She loved me, love us, but you know, be real. So, but what she did do, and if you have not seen the short film Fannie, about Fannie Lou Hamer, take the moment to see that. And so she did because she really wanted to be here. And so Daryl, tell us a little bit more about Anjanou, and then we're going to watch, she did tape a video.
Hello everyone. We are also honored Anjanou for her leadership as a fierce advocate for racial, gender, economic, and social justice for people of color, LGBT+Q, disabled, low income, and other marginalized communities.
Thank you, Daryl. And we will now have her acceptance via video, I believe I'm right. Is that waving no? I'm not sure. Is that a no? Okay, we'll keep right on along. All right, our next honoree, is a leader, dynamic sister, firebrand. Who's from Prince George's County in here? Gorgeous Prince George. All right, in the house. She exudes excellence in public service. You all remember my sister. I need my family. If you all don't have staff, if we can make sure my family's up here. If they're not, if we can get my family up here, please. Reverend Dr. Judith Moore, Isaac Campbell Jr., Clifford Campbell. We also give an award out. And who remembers my sister Ruby? So Ruby also served at the Cash Coalition for 15 years. She found Tanya Tyson for me before God took her home. And so the board named this award Focus on Health and Wellness. So we gave her a combination. We felt that this honoree deserved to have both of these in one. The Honorable Angela Alsobrooks, Prince George's County Executive. And we will give this award. So on behalf of the National Coalition, the Campbell and Moore family, it is our honor to present the Honorable Angela Alsobrooks, County Executive from Prince George's County, with the President's Leadership Circle Award, again for her excellence in public service and what you do so much for Prince George's and really in your own way this region and nation and education. I'm not forget how I know you pour into that. We honor you, my sister, for your leadership and unwavering commitment and investment in providing a world-class public education system, safe communities, and economic opportunity for residents of Prince George's County, Maryland. So we're going to bring up a Prince County resident. I think you're correct, at least you grew up in Prince George's County. Daryl.
We salute you for your exceptional commitment to increasing funding for behavioral and mental health to support families and those living with disease of addiction. And we also honor you for your dedication to increasing funding and behavioral health to Prince George's residents, including mental health and addiction. So thank you all for that you do. I would love to, and we would love to present you with your award.
Can we give her another round of applause? Next, it's our national coalition. Every year, we make sure that we lift up the folks. When we say what the national coalition does, it's as good as the people that are leading the work on the ground. And that's our state affiliates and our partners. And so this year, we're so excited to have two partners, affiliates and partners of the year recipients. And that is Reverend Dr. Judith Moore, Executive Director, Sister Saving Ourselves Now, Convener, Pittsburgh Mon Valley Black Women's Roundtable, and Cassandra Welchland, Executive Director and Co-Convener, Mississippi Black Women's Roundtable and the Mississippi Coalition on Black Civic Participation. Come up, ladies. As Reverend Moore is coming up, Reverend Dr. Moore, we honor you. Okay. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right. All right. All right, David. So I will start off. Is that all right, David? Can I start off? Can I go ahead and give them their awards? Thank you. Reverend Dr. Moore, we honor you for your exceptional servant leadership and unwavering commitment to the empowerment and mentorship of Black women and girls, especially single moms in the Pittsburgh and Mon Valley communities. We also recognize you for your civic engagement, economic justice, voter empowerment, health and wellness, and storytelling work that focuses on Black women and youth in urban and rural communities.
Rev Moore, we also honor you for your domestic violence prevention advocacy work and promising an exclusive democracy for all Americans to participate and have their voices and issues addressed in a safe, barrier-free, democratic process. So we thank you, and we would love to present you your award.
Now, my sister Cassandra, Mississippi girl, you know her husband from Mississippi. Yeah, so y'all. Any Mississippi folks in here? Relatives of Mississippi. Cassandra, it is also my pleasure to present the President's Leadership Circle and State Affiliates and Partners Year Award to you for your exceptional servant leadership and unwavering commitment to the economic empowerment, justice, and security of Black women and families in urban and rural communities in the state of Mississippi. We also want to recognize you for your civic engagement, voter empowerment, your work-family policy, reproductive and health justice work.
Cassandra, we also honoring you for your leadership, advocacy work, promoting environmental justice and clean water for the people of Jackson, Mississippi, and fighting for an inclusive democracy for all Americans to participate and have their voices heard and issues addressed in a safe and barrier-free democratic process. So thank you.
So can you give another hand to Reverend Dr. Moore and my sister Cassandra Welchland? We present you all with our Leadership State Affiliates and Partners of the Year Award.
And now, our Excellence in Civil Rights, Women's Rights, Public Policy, and Social Justice Leadership Awards. Our first recipient is my brother from Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana. Don't forget it. He never lets you forget it, which is awesome. Our brother Damon Hewitt, President and Executive Director, Lawyers Committee for Civil Rights Under Law. Oh, he go ahead. Look at that suit. Look at that suit. They said, right, walk that suit out. They said, walk the dress out. Walk the suit out. David, it is our pleasure, it is my pleasure to present the 22 President's Civil Rights and Social Justice Leadership Circle Award to you, my brother. We salute you for your exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to civil rights, voting rights, racial and social justice. And as a point of privilege, when we having some of these civil rights conversations, I've never seen anybody smile. When you're ready to cuss, he will smile. He don't curse. Will you curse? I don't know if you curse or not. But he won't say it. But it's a smile. It's a certain way. But he will help us through some of them hard conversations. And I thank God for your smile in rough times. And I'm serious about that. Daryl?
We are also honoring you for your exceptional legal work focus and on policing reform, education equity, juvenile justice, and empowerment of black men and boys. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Damon. Next, it's a sister, Janice Mathis, knows her, Cora remembers her, knows, and when we were out there in that heat and the cold, who not afraid of going to jail for the people, not afraid of speaking truth to power. And that is my sister, our sister, my sister in the struggle leader, Virginia Cassie Solomon, President and CEO, League of Women Voters USA. Virginia, ooh, I like that skirt, girl. It is my pleasure to present to you the 2022 President's Civil Rights, Women's Rights, and Social Justice Leadership Award. We salute you for your exceptional leadership and unwavering commitment to civil rights, voting rights, women's rights, LGBTQ+ rights, racial, gender, economic, and social justice.
We are also honoring you for your leadership, advocacy, and visionary work focused on promoting an inclusive democracy for all Americans to participate and have their voices and issues addressed in a safe and barrier-free democratic process. So thank you all for what you do.
And we present this award to you. our last, for this, we have 2 more awards, but we broke them up for the President's Leadership Award. Our last honoree for this segment of our presentations is another brother who has one of those smiles, but works very, very hard. I'm going to do this, though, before I move further. You know, I love to party. I love to fellowship. But I also love to respect everybody in this room. And we want everybody to have a good time. I don't want to shut down the bar. I don't have to shut down the bar in the back, right? What's that song say? The people in the back thank y'all. Okay. We're almost there, y'all. We want to respect you, but also the people who are here being honored tonight. Is that all right? So, my brother John Yang, Executive Director of the Asian Americans Advancing Justice. John? Well, So, John, it is my pleasure to present you with this President's Leadership Circle Award for your work. We salute you for your exceptional leadership and your also commitment to civil rights, voting rights, racial, economic, and social justice, equity, and opportunity for Asian Americans, Pacific Islanders, and other minority communities.
We also honor you and AAJC and for your dedicated leadership fighting for civil rights, empowerment, and justice for all Americans through public policy, education, and litigation. So thank you.
All right, can we give these honorees a round of applause? And we're going to hear from them. And then our final award will go to Until Freedom. And they will be up very much shortly. And 4 of the most dynamic leaders, a powerful team. So Michelle, we'll turn it over to you. And so just sit tight and enjoy this conversation. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please clap for these amazing President's Leadership Circle honorees? Absolutely amazing. Absolutely. We're not going to mention that 3 of them are Deltas. We already did that. But we're going to go through this swiftly. I'm going to ask you guys to be respectful as we move forward so we can hear everything that they want to share with us. Is that all right? Is that all right? Thank you so much. So I'm going to ask you 2 quick questions, and we're going to start down here. First of all, I'm so grateful for all of that male energy. You just walked up here and just stood up here, and I just felt man all over you. So we just bless God for man. God is just faithful for man. I shrunk up underneath you like, I know you some my husband. Okay, let's go.
My wife here, y'all, my wife
I'm
here.
sorry. To God be the glory. Bless your wife. God bless you both. God bless you. God is able. Hallelujah. Tell us a little bit about what it means. Tell us a little bit about what it means to you to receive this year's President's Leadership Circle. We just got 1-minute responses, so we're going to start at the end with Damon, work our way down. Just 1 minute. What does it mean to you, please?
Look, I've been in this game long enough to know how it works. I'm being honored, but I want you to know part of my team from the Lawyers Committee. Raise your hands, folks. Table 29. Gabriel Velasco, Armani Edie, Marcia Johnson Blanco, Caleb Jackson. That's just a small part of our team that does our voting rights and election protection work. And look, I got into this work
joining the campus NAACP in Louisiana, the late Rupert Richardson, took us all under the wing and said, don't just talk about it, come be about it. Come be about it. On the campus with Don Cravens and my fraternity, Alpha Phi Alpha, Notorious New Side Chapter. I met these brothers marching at an MLK march. And so I learned to be part of community and part of team, being about it. So that's what this award means to me. It's humbling to be part of this team, part of this crew, this virtual network without walls. I love you all.
Thank you so much. Cassandra?
It's pretty amazing to be here and really humbling. I met Melanie in 2014. We were at a media convening, and I didn't know her, she didn't know me, and we were getting trained on how to speak to the media and all of that, and all of a sudden she got whisked off to the White House. And I was like, well, who is she? Who is she again? And I think what's so amazing and humbling about this is that she always makes space. She always brings, she's building the bench. And so me from Mississippi, and my nose is on the ground. I'm just in the work. I don't need any acknowledgement at all, but it's just so humbling to be able to have that hand, and I know that it's not just her hand, it's other hands that have held her back that's not pushing me to just keep going. And so I'm just really thankful for that. And there is a Mississippi woman here. That's my mama. She's sitting over there, Miss O. And so I couldn't be here without her sharing this amazing moment with her.
Okay. Honorable Alsobrook?
So first of all, I'm just so grateful to be here. I want to thank God for a night like tonight, and to say I am so honored to represent the largest and most affluent African-American county in America.
In America.
In Prince George's County. And so I'm so proud of the people of Prince George's County. But tonight is about Melanie Campbell. And I'd like to take the 1 minute I have to salute her, to thank her, to honor her. Similar to my sister, I met Melanie in 2014 when I was at Pastor Tony Lee's church, and he said, this is a super bad woman. I don't know if you know Melanie Campbell, but if you don't, you may want to get to know her. And all these years later, the thing that I've been amazed about, and even tonight, I'm looking out, I think this room speaks volumes about who Melanie Campbell is, all of the people who have packed this room tonight. But this is a woman who's literally spent her life from one corner of this country to the next, making sure America is as good as its promise. And the truth of tonight is this: I'm sitting on this stage. I have been blessed to serve as the first woman to ever be elected as the state's attorney in my county, followed by the election. I'm now serving my second term, beginning as the first woman to ever be elected as county executive. And it's not lost on me that I'm the first black woman in the state of Maryland to ever serve as county executive. Now, the point of it is this: I didn't get there by myself. It was through the work of women like Melanie Campbell, who for years before I was even thought about, made sure I would have the opportunity to be elected in this democracy. It is because of her work that I won't be the last. And so tonight really is about Melanie Campbell and about the fact that all of what we have experienced, all the prosperity, the concentration on education, voting rights, those are things that happen at the hands of people who we very often never even see. So thank you to Melanie Campbell. Thank you to the Campbell family. The last point I want to make is this. It said so much to me. I was so filled up when I realized that Ruby Campbell was Melanie Campbell's actual sister, Pulliam. Ruby Campbell Pulliam was her blood sister. For someone to honor you with an award in the name of her blood sister said it all for me. A beautiful woman who worked for, as I understand, at least 17 years, who oversaw this particular dinner, who loved God, loved her family, loved her community. And when I heard she loved to dance, I said, now that's my girl. So I just thank you so much to the Campbell family for this honor. And again, this is all about Melanie Campbell. We love her so much and thank her for her sacrifices.
Thank you so much. John?
Sure, thank you. First, actually, I would like to ask for a moment of silence.
10 years ago today, we lost 20 kids, mostly first graders, and 6 teachers or teachers' assistants to gun violence. Now, the problem is that, as I ask for a moment of silence, we've all been there. Whether it's Buffalo, whether it's Charleston, for the Asian American community, it's Atlanta or Oak Creek. For the Hispanic community, it's El Paso, it's Uvalde. For the LGBTQ community, it's Colorado, Miami, Pulse nightclub. And so, as I think about getting this award, I think about the grief that we all share, the pain that we all share, but also the power that we all share. The power that we could do, that we have when we come together. And so, as I reflect on this day, and the tragedies and the emotions that I try to process as a father, I also think about what we can do together when we have leaders like Melanie, when we have organizations like hers that can bring us together to bring us to better places.
Thank you so much, John. Virginia?
So what it means to me, this is the National Council on Black Civic Participation.
Coalition, yes it is.
And this may come as a shock to some of you, but I'm not Black. And so, big shocker. But for Mel to call me and say, we want to honor you, it's something to call yourself an ally, but to have somebody like Melanie, the Black Women's Roundtable, honor me just for showing up, for getting arrested when my body was not on the line the same way that I know other people's were. That means so much to me. And so when we talk about the honor, what it means more to me than anybody can possibly imagine. And the love that I have for Melanie and the women in this struggle, my fellow honorees, when I look at Linda, when I look at Tamika, people who I have admired for so long, my dear friends Damon and John, and it's overwhelming, but I think it's also motivating and inspiring because we really are celebrating the diversity of this democracy, and we all have our eyes on the same goal, and that is a democracy that is that lives up to its promise. And we might not get there in our lifetimes, but we know that we are preparing a pipeline of future generations that can see a country that we believe is possible.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Reverend Judy.
I would say that this is an awesome organization, and it is truly an honor to be standing and sitting here on behalf of the Pittsburgh Mon Valley Black Women Roundtable to say that you see our face, that you see our face in our space. And to that we say thank you.
I love it. I love you so much. Our last question real quick, with all that you all have done, respectfully in your own ways, I just have a simple question. How will you pay it forward? How will you pay it forward? Cassandra, we're going to start with you. How will you pay it forward?
I will never be in a space again where young people are not a part. Young people have to be a part of this work, and so I'm paying it forward by growing, building the bench, as this organization has done for all of you all and for me. So I'll be doing the same and am doing the same by building the bench, bringing young people who've been touched by the foster care system, who's been touched by the juvenile justice system, young people who have disabilities, because all 3 of my kids have disabilities, young people who have just been overlooked, but that's how I'm paying it forward, bringing those young people to the table and creating spaces of joy, activism, and healing.
Excellent. John, how are you going to impact, how are you going to pay that forward with the work that you do?
I have the fortune of running an organization whose part of our mission is to advance and promote a fair and equitable society for all. So I have that privilege and that responsibility of creating policies, creating conditions where all of us prosper together. And what does that look like? Part of that for me is education. And that's yes of our children, but to make sure that we stand on the right side of education equity. And I want to be very clear about this one point, is that Asian Americans support affirmative action. I know sometimes you see in the news that there are groups of Asian Americans that are protesting against it or protesting against certain types of admissions policies for magnet schools. But there is a larger segment of Asian Americans that are supporting educational equity, and that we will be part of, we have been and we will continue to be part of these efforts to lift each other up, to make a better future, make a more fair and equitable society for all of us.
Thank you, John. Let us hear, Damon, let's hear how you plan to pay it forward.
As much as we honor our ancestors and our past and know where we come from, we have to do what they did too by paying it forward. We have to actually not just fight to defend, we actually have to know what we're fighting not just against, but what we're fighting for. And our organization...
I'm sorry, Damon, give me 1 second. We're going to respectfully ask for our friends at the bar to please keep it down. This is why we're here. This is why we're here. Thank you so much. Please continue, Damon.
Thank you, sister. We not just what we're fighting against, be clear about what we're fighting for. And what we're trying to do is to build the future that we deserve, that our children, our grandchildren deserve. We have to look forward, because otherwise we're just focused on riding the coattails of those who came before us. We've got to build forward just like they did too.
Thank you so much. Angela.
So in the spirit of the award that I was given tonight, much of what we're celebrating in this room tonight, democracy, freedom, education, is impossible without our health. And so mental health care is a huge issue for our community.
Yes.
It isn't, we don't discuss it often enough, but behavioral health is the #1 really health issue in our communities. Everything we talk about, including the violence that we're seeing, the crime we're seeing, these are all public health emergencies, and mental health is #1 on that list. And so I have committed, along with our administration, to make sure that the people we serve are, first of all, healthy. And one of the things that we've been able to do in 2020 was to decide that we are not going to treat people with mental illness and addictions in jail. And I know that Prince George's County is not different in this regard, but we discovered that 70% of the people we arrest every day and take to the Department of Corrections in my county are suffering from mental illness. Are intoxicated when they arrive at the jail. We discovered that 1/3 of the people we arrested were mentally ill. And so we are treating people with addictions and treating people with mental illness in facilities where they can never be healed. And we decided we wouldn't do that. And so I reallocated $20 million away from a public safety training facility into an addictions care and mental health care facility where we can treat our loved ones with the dignity that they deserve.
That's right.
This is just one of the ways that we're paying it forward to make sure that we can actually enjoy all that this country has to offer. We can only do that if we are well. And so investing in our health care as well as education, making sure that education is the great equalizer in this country. I couldn't be here if someone had invested in me, and so continuing to make those investments also.
And so we thank you for normalizing mental health in our community. Virginia?
I thought about this a lot because they sent us like the questions, right? And so what are you going to answer? For me, when we talk about white supremacy and dismantling white supremacy, it has to start with institutions like the one that I lead. And so when I got to the organization, there were only 2 people of color in my organization at the national level. And so my commitment was to bring in people of color leaders into this organization and allow them. I learned a long time ago, you listen to black women. So I have amazing black women, including one here, Io Atterbury, who is our Chief Strategy Officer, and others. My goal is when I leave this organization that my board will have the most difficult decision because they have just an amazing plethora of women of color to choose from. And I do believe that when we have the diversity and the representation in organizations like ours, that's how we are able to really have an impact on the democracy that we are trying to build. And so that is my commitment, to invest back in other people who have done so much to invest in me.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Virginia. And Reverend Judy, can you close us out with your response to your paying forward
Yeah, painting forward, I would say passion. Because when you have passion, you have resilience. And when you have passion, you have courage to get up every morning and do this over and over and over again, knowing and believing and hoping that your presence is making a difference. And so we'll continue to educate and to empower our people. But one of the things I've learned more than anything is to listen to what it is that our people are saying, and then giving them the voice they need.
That's amazing. Can we please give this amazing President's Leadership Circle panel a round of applause? Were they not outstanding? You all stand up so we can get a picture of this panel with President Melanie Campbell, and then we're going to have our last presentations. Can we clap for them again? Right there. Yeah, he was right there. Daryl. Okay. He's not up there. Take this picture. Okay.
Yeah, yep. Daryl Coles.
Just want to take a moment. Can we clap again for that amazing panel? Just want to take a moment to acknowledge another amazing giant woman and the work that's being done. We have Natalie Madeira Cofield here, advisor, entrepreneur, founder of Walker's Legacy, and former Biden-Harris appointee at the Small Business Administration. Got to clap for our soror. Is Erica Lowe still in the house? Are you still here, Erica? Yeah. Where are you? Our whole White House crew. Can we have our White House, our folks from the White House stand up? Thank you so much for walking across the street. We thank you. All right. So, Melanie, we're going to have you bring up our next group, our last group.
Can we please give our President's Leadership Award recipients one more round of applause? I'm going to, are y'all all right? Everybody all right? Now, I know some people have an early sleep, go to bed early. But I'm going to ask you to think about if you need to have some extra joy tonight. I know the night is, and I'm not going to blame you Erica, but your boss caused all that traffic. So we started late. Tell him I said so. Tell him Mel was having a party in Tommy Deutsch, and he had to, okay. But B Flat, our comedian who's going to come up here, if you want to leave feeling some real joy, hang a little later after this, our last honorees. She came all the way from Philadelphia, and I know it's late, and we thought we'd be out a little sooner, but if you want to leave here, trust me on this one, you want to stay. And so our last, and certainly not least, honoree, organization and the leaders, until freedom. Say that with me. Until freedom. Excellence in racial and social justice, trailblazers, leaders, organizers, not afraid, ain't scared. Not just to go to jail, but to go where folks scared to go. Feed the folk, clothe the folk, take care of our people. When you think about Breonna Taylor, a whole lot of folk. But this crew, ride or die. So it is my pleasure and honor to bring up the co-founders of Until Freedom, Tamika Mallory, my son, the General Lennon, Angelo Pinto Esquire, and Linda Sarsour. Come on up, Until Freedom. Cora, I want you, when I take the picture, when you want you to come up when we take this picture. And Tommy, I know before we do the conversation, I want you to come up and get the picture with our last honoree. So it is my honor and a pleasure to present the President's Leadership Circle Spirit of Democracy Award for your racial and social justice as trailblazers, as leaders, as just getting it done, folks. Hit it. Hit it. Tonight we honor you. We salute you for that leadership, for that commitment to civil rights, activism. What's that, Cora? You know I got a choir over here. but I know how much she loves you all as well. Economic justice, criminal justice, police reform, gun violence prevention, and human rights. Darryl?
We are also honoring you for your collective leadership and steadfast advocacy, mentorship, and training of new advocates, community organizers, students, movement lawyers, and more. So thank you.
Give him one more round of applause. And our chairman, we appreciate him so much. It's been a long, long, long week. So he's going to bring a couple remarks, and then we'll have our conversation with our Until Freedom honorees.
I just want to, again, congratulate all of our honorees tonight. I've had my sons and my daughters and my grandchildren call me and saying, "Are you in bed yet?" And so I have to follow my boss's orders. But let me just say, again, we at the coalition didn't do it alone, and that's why we're recognizing so many partners, because collectively we make the difference. Not us, but we. I see Dwayne Crawford. I've mentored and brought him up and created a monster, and he hasn't stopped yet with Noble. But I want to leave you with one thought. You've heard us talk about violence prevention and gun violence and health and everything else. To this point, my medical bills have exceeded $2.6 million. But I've been blessed to have great insurance, and my businesses have done over $200 million since I started 29 years ago. And my wife and I and family invest at least 30% of that back in the community, because God is good and we've been blessed. Amen. But in America, we cannot allow only those with means to survive when medicine is available and can heal so many people, and particularly our people, because of preconditions. So I challenge each and every one of you, do more, give more. And that young generation, until we address poverty, we're not going to stop. this problem with gun violence and everything else, because there are root causes. We have to deal with the root causes. So I challenge us, while we've been through midterms, every day should be treated like a midterm. And in our Congress, when I worked 16 years with U.S. Senator Sam Nunn, we didn't have as many billionaires and millionaires in the Senate and House, and they can't relate to working people. We've got to change that. We have to hold all people accountable, regardless of their political party. We've got to address that. So as I go follow the orders of those who I love the most in life, for those who made a difference, but I love each and every one of you in this room. And more importantly, I've invested, and we must invest in future generations. Our future lies in the hands of those generations to follow. From 1968, graduating in the last segregated class in North Georgia, from segregation to where we are now, there's no excuse. So I challenge each and every one of us. Let's keep working as a family. God does not make mistakes. No matter what you call your supreme being, we all must work hand in hand, because America was built at the hands of all of us, not but some of us. And so with that, I leave you to go get rest. I love Melanie Campbell. I've followed her, and she knows if she calls me at 2 a.m. in the morning, I'm going to be on the phone, because she's always working for our people. Everybody, I love you. And to our panel and everybody, stay safe and wear those masks.
Can we please give our chairman one more round of applause? And we thank you for hanging out with us for so long. We thank God for you. We're just going to jump right in, y'all, because you know we're ready. We've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for Until Freedom.
Let's go, let's go.
Let's go. So it's the same two questions, but I'm going to just restate real quick. So we're going to hear from Tamika, my son, Angelo, and Linda. Tell us a little bit about what it means to you to receive this President's Leadership Circle Award. We're going to start with you, Angelo. What does it mean to receive this award?
You know, it's always an honor to be honored. And that was the first thought that I had, was that we were being honored for the work that we do. And this moment really allows us to, for a brief moment, smell the roses and say the work you did is not only important, but it's being recognized. And in those dark moments when you feel like you're not doing enough, someone has recognized that what you're doing is enough and is moving the needle forward. But when I think about the honor, I thought about democracy. And what does democracy really mean? And it made me think about, are we doing enough to preserve democracy? But more than that, it made me think about the importance of redefining democracy. And the fact that the democracy that exists today was not the democracy that exists 100 years ago, and it certainly shouldn't be the democracy that exists 100 years from now. So how much are we doing today to redefine democracy and to expand it so that those who do not get the full benefit of democracy today get it tomorrow?
Say that. Linda, thank you so much.
I'll just say, wherever Melanie tells us to be, that's where we're going to be. If she called me here to honor Until Freedom or to come mop the floors, we are coming. That's really, for me, it's an honor to be honored by someone like Melanie, and we were sitting, of course, with Ms. Cora Masters-Berry. I personally wouldn't be here, sitting here today, if it wasn't for them too. They were with us in dark times. We are good troublemakers that get into a whole lot of trouble. Enough trouble that there are some people that don't like to affiliate with people that get into good trouble. Sure. But Melanie and Cora know the sacrifices that we make, and they're with us 100%. So I'm here because I'm here for Melanie. I'm here for the National Coalition for Black Civic Participation, and I'm here to do whatever Melanie tells us to do.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Linda. My son.
Well, I'll take what Angelo said a little step further. It's always an honor to be honored by people that you honor. You know, Melanie is someone that I've really honored. This is a woman that I've watched as I entered into this movement, being someone formerly incarcerated, being from the tenement building in the Bronx, not knowing
that you would ever be in spaces like this and being honored by someone who is prestigious like this and doing work that you know that's valuable and being an inspiration, knowing that it's people that come from where I come from that have never been in these rooms, that have never been in these rooms. You know, so being honored in this time, especially when I believe that I was born for a time such as this, you know, is something that's really important for me. So I just like to thank Melanie for actually having us here tonight. Thank you.
Tamika?
I don't think that we can thank Melanie enough. And before I came up here, my mentor, our mentor, Cora Masters-Berry, said to me, you need to be nice. And I was like, what exactly does that mean? And then I sat here and I was like, oh, that's what she's talking about. Because the reality is that Melanie is ensuring that people do not take our work and not acknowledge what we've done, right? And that we've been in the trenches building when a lot of people, not most people, we would say most people actually appreciate our work, but there are some who you would think would support us and they have not. And Melanie has been steadfast. She's always shown up for me personally and for us as Until Freedom. And when we talk about Breonna Taylor in the room, I know it's a lot going on and folks heard Breonna Taylor's name and what has happened, and it was like kind of like a small clap. But really, we should be having a rousing round of applause for Breonna Taylor and the work that so many activists put in around this nation to bring us to the point where there was an indictment after an attorney general said no, knowing that he was actually committing a crime as far as I'm concerned with what he did. But that didn't happen without great sacrifice. After there were people who told Linda, well, Linda was, nobody told her that she was done. They said other things. They said she was going to be murdered. They tried to, send her threatening things about her family and children, but they said that I personally was done. My career was over. Melanie was like, I don't even know why you listening to this. Like, we're going to continue to build. And she kept telling me, and it would make me so upset because I'm like, I want you to like give me a pity party. And she's like, just keep doing the work. In fact, that was a common thread that we said to one another all the time, keep doing the work. And as we have continued to focus on the work, we stepped into a family's life at a time when they were at their most vulnerable state. And we were able to bring the resources of all the folks in this room and more because Melanie continues to convene us, and we had a pool to draw from, to feed the people of Louisville, Kentucky, 4,000 people, to convene meetings. We learned from Melanie what it looks like to put different organizations in the room to meet because they were like, why y'all here in our state trying to tell us what to do? But by the time we got ready to leave, 4 months after living there, 4 months later, they were like, don't leave us, please stay. And that was because we understood what authentic leadership is, and we learned that from the work that we see around the nation and work that is in us as individuals, but we cannot ever, we want to make sure we acknowledge where it comes from as well, that sitting in the space of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation has taught us what it is to be humble leaders, to pay it forward, and to always acknowledge those people who have paved the way so that we, those who are coming behind us, understand we've done our job not to get the acknowledgement for it, but because we all have a role and a time, and it was our spirit and the spirit of the National Coalition of Black Civic Participation that has brought us to this point, and now it is their responsibility to keep us going forward. And that's why we're here and what this award means to us. So thank you, Melanie, and thank you so much to everyone who's here this evening.
Thank you. We're going to close it out with this last question. This last one is basically, you said it though, Tamika, you said it, but we want you to each say this. How you going to pay it forward? Y'all got a lot to do. How are you doing it in real time? So this kind of weird question to ask when you're already doing it. But if you could just add a little exclamation mark to what you're already doing, what would that look like, Linda? How would you pay that forward?
We've paid with everything that we have. We've paid with our careers. We paid with our children. We paid with our everything. We give everything of what we have to the movement. And I think it's because even if we don't win the things and the justice that we want while we're here, we know that a future generation will. And that's always how generations before us have operated. You know, we fight to win. And that's what we do. We don't fight to fight. We don't make trouble to make trouble. We make trouble because our people deserve better. And so for us, everything that we've done in our careers, Tamika and I have been in this work for over 2 decades. We have children who are the same age. I do it for my kids and yours, and I've given everything that I have. And so when someone tells me, or my great-great-grandchildren, they're going to say, my grandma, my great-grandma, she did that. And you could, you know, I wrote a memoir when I was only 38 years old, and people said to me, why would you write a memoir when you're 38 years old? People write it when they're 50 and 60. You know, they've done other stuff and more stuff. I said I didn't know if I was going to live to 40. And so I wanted to make sure that my grandchildren and great-grandchildren had something to go back to and say, this right here is my grandma. Not what the media said, not what the opposition says, not what the white supremacists say, but this is who my grandmother was. So I feel like I have much more to do, but I feel like I've also given everything that I've had.
Amazing. Thank you, Linda. Angelo.
You know, I think one of the ways we pay it forward is to do what Melanie has done today, which is really lift while she climbs. So as she's continued to climb for over 25 years, she has made sure that she's lifted other individuals who I believe she saw a little bit of herself in. And we must continue to do the same thing. We must lift while we climb. And the other thing that I think is so powerful for me is the idea of doing this work until it's all done. At least until I'm all done. And me and a friend of mine always talk about this idea of dying in the fight, right? Can you die in the fight? Are you willing to give so much that when you got nothing left, you can say, job well done? And for me, it's to lift while we climb and to die into the fight. That's what we got.
Wow. Die into the fight. Thank you, Angelo. Angelo, Tamika, my son.
I think for me is being unapologetically fighting for what's right at all times. You know, no matter what the consequences are, no matter who's against you, if you're the only one that stands for what's right, just always doing that. And showing people that where I come from, that justice doesn't look one way. It doesn't sound one way. I know when I first started entering into these rooms, I was uncomfortable because there wasn't a lot of people that came from where I came from. They didn't identify with. A lot of people didn't understand my methodology of how I fought for justice. Even when I went back home to my community, they said, well, I want to do what you do, but I don't know how. And I want them to understand the way you do it is the way that you do it. The fact that you want to see our people get justice and you want us to have equity, you do it the way that you do it. And I think that's the way I want to pay it forward.
Do it the way you do it. That make a whole lot of sense. Tamika.
Yes, and my son certainly does it the way he wants to do it, even when Linda and I tell him, don't do it like that. But I do want to acknowledge, though, we were talking about children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren. Linda's son is going to be working on his grandchild soon, his child soon, because he's in the process of getting married. They have 6 weddings in the Palestinian community. I'd never understand, but I'm happy to be invited to a few of those fabulous occasions. But the rest of us are grandparents. And I think that is, the rest of us are grandparents. I am a grandma. Grandpa and grandpa. So the 3 of us now have grandchildren. My granddaughter is going to be 3 months, and your granddaughter is 2 years old and going to be 2, right? So 1 year old. So we truly are paying it forward for even our own offspring. And I tell people all the time that I am very, very selfish about why I do this work. My son is a 23-year-old young black man whose father was shot and killed when he was 2 years old, when my son was 2 years old. He has not been here. Jason has not been here to help me. And I understood very clearly that if I did not do this work, he could easily become his father. And so I was trying to give my son an opportunity every day that I get up and I do this work. I'm hoping that it will keep him from a disastrous situation that white supremacy and this America that we live in can cause. But I will say that you know, as we sit here today, when we think about what is necessary going forward, that every single person in this room, if you don't have a stripper that you're helping, or a Ray that's on the street corner that you're helping, or a person who has been cast out of the system and no one wants to talk to them, know that that is what Until Freedom does. And if those people are not at the center of the dialogue that you are having about helping communities, you're doing work for yourself, you're not doing work for them. You have to bring those people who are most marginalized into the room and let their voices be heard more than ours, because we are privileged, we are studied, we have all the knowledge and information that we have access to, but we are not living where they live, and so we cannot tell them more about their conditions. And I think that's what paying it forward looks like, to make ourselves uncomfortable, where it's less about us getting awards and more about them being awarded by having access to the rooms.
Say that.
Drop the mic.
So can we all please, can you please help me congratulate our honorees with this amazing panel? Tamika Mallory, my son Lennon, Linda, Angelo, we are so honored to have y'all here with us. We are so honored to have y'all here. Thank you so much. Till you die, Angelo. Till you die. Till you die. Till you die. Thank you, gorgeous. Amazing. All right. Oh, they want to get a picture. Wait a minute, the panel. Oh, no, we already got it. That's right, we did it up top. Can we give them one more round of applause?
Can give our Until Freedom. Can we give our host for the most, Michelle, the indie mom of comedy, a round of applause? And I don't know where our team is, but you know, I love all of that. It makes me uncomfortable, to be honest, but I appreciate my name being called a lot, but that means nothing without these names I'm gonna call. And I want y'all to let me call the names, and I want you to please give them a round of applause. And that's our team, led by, this is what I work for, y'all. I work for the board too, but I work for Tanya Tyson, Vice President of Operations and Events Management. I see, and I'm not sure if they're here, everybody's here. I know Dee works for herself, but she also helps us out. Dee Marshall, Senior Advisor for Branding and Black Women's Roundtable, take it to the top. Add to that Minor, Senior Media Consultant, Dr. Delisa Saunders, who's our outgoing Senior Policy Advisor. Jocelyn Tate, our Senior Technology Policy Advisor. Lon Walls, who's our Senior Consultant Communications. Angelo Greco, Senior Consultant Communications. Michelle Foreman, Senior Advisor of Cultural Expressions, right here. Christina Q, our Unity 22 National Campaign Manager. Daryl Coles, Jr., Black Youth Vote Project Assistant. Getcho Caldwell, our Senior Advisor for the National Coalition's Thomas W. Dorsch Jr. Institute at Clark Atlanta. And I want to give a special also our ground crew who helps us internally and externally. My nephew, who's always there to help us out, Clifford Campbell, my brother Isaac Campbell Jr., Michael Duncan, Mustafa Hafiz, Reverend William Bill Lee, Reverend Tony Lee, Reverend Dr. Judith C. Moore, who helped me out, and Anissa Twyman. Can you all give them a round of applause? And so I'm gonna get out of the way and let us, and hang if you can. Anybody sitting in a red ticket? I think we have a few more left. Hang with us so you can leave here with a whole lot of joy. Turn it over to my sister to bring on our entertainment for the hour.
So we're going to close this out with a bang, y'all. I had the blessing and the honor of touring 7 cities with this comedian as we did the Power of the Ballot, Get Out the Vote comedy tour with National Coalition and the Black Women's Roundtable. You guys will not be disappointed that you stayed. She is also our soror. She's originally from St. Louis by way of Philadelphia. You've seen her on so many shows. She currently hosts her own podcast with co-host Sherry Shepard called Tighten Up Tuesdays. Can you guys please?
Anthony Rodell, Reed Rodell, and your team, where are you? Just wave your hand.
We just want to thank them for this amazing event. They are the producers. Rodell Reed, Anthony Rodell. Can you please help me bring up to the stage, y'all? Y'all ain't ready. I want y'all to laugh and be ready to just let it all out. We're going to have a good time, close this out. She's going to do a tight set for you. Help me bring to the stage my soror, my good friend. Please help me welcome Miss B Flat. Come on, y'all, make some noise. Make some noise for B Flat. Come on, y'all. Y'all can do better than that. Make some noise for B Flat. Make some noise for B Flat. B Flat is in the building.
Thank you, love. Thank you. Thank you, DJ in the back with the, I don't even know what the hell song that was. How y'all doing? Those of us that are still here, this is the late crowd that used to hang out in the club till they close. That's what I'm saying. So because normally I would be asleep at this time, but I'm up with my people right here. I see, how y'all doing? He tired. I can tell I'm tired. It's all good, but this was a wonderful event, and I appreciate everybody that's hanging with us, that's still here, the people at the bar taking selfies. I don't understand that. Why would you want everybody to see you half drunk at the bar, knowing your ass is going to get fired the next day? Because that's how they do. How y'all doing? Okay, that's what's up. Wait a minute, I'm going to let the people that's leaving go ahead and leave. I am not going to point you out walking out the door. Enjoy, because the people that's left is ready to party. This is the late night Wednesday crowd. This is the why we still here Wednesday crowd. Anybody else leaving? I just need to know. Y'all making the exit right here? Okay, I'm gonna let y'all do y'all thing. While y'all taking y'all time, I'm taking my time too, like most black people when they get to work. We don't start working right when. Thank you. I know I don't. Thank God I ain't got no job, but when I did have one, when I would get to work, I would like get in my little cubicle and call and try to make all my little bill arrangements for everybody got there and hear my business. So this is the section we in right now. This is the part where everybody leaving and doing their thing, and I totally get it because I know y'all tired. I've been here since 5:30. And the only thing that's keeping me up is these little wines that I'm getting for free. And if I'd have known I was getting them for free, I wouldn't have had them start a tab on my credit card about 5 minutes ago. And it's a couple things gonna happen with the little crowd that's here. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. I am gonna have a hot flash. And that's why I got this towel. I'm letting y'all know right now, my friends be talking about what you doing for your hot flashes. I'm taking 2 hits to the neck like this. I ain't getting no damn hormones. No, because the one thing I found out about the hormone for all my women that's 50 and up, and I'm gonna let y'all know right now, I'm 55 and loving it. Yeah, thank you. I'm really not. I just tell everybody that so they can say I look good for my age. But I'm 53, but I tell everybody I'm 55 so they can say, ooh, what you doing? How you doing, girlfriend? Good to see you again. My thing is, I don't mind getting older. I love it. I ain't getting no damn hormone shot. All my girlfriends that's getting a hormone shot, they voice deeper than mine. They got a beard, little mustache, and they using little tweezers to plug hairs. I'm like, heifer, you need to shave. Because the little tweezers ain't working no more. But no, I'm not going through all that. I said, I'm just going to go through what my grandma went through. Regular old hot flash rag. Thank you. I don't need a deeper voice. You hear this voice already. The doctor already told me if I start taking hormones, my voice is going to get deeper. I already sound like a man. This is the crazy thing. This is how I met my husband, because he came up to me 13 years ago talking about, ooh, B Flat, I like your little sexy voice. I like your little mustache. I said, it sounds like you're like a man. If you ask me, but he didn't like that. He don't like when I tell that joke, because I am telling the truth, but it is the truth. I like all that goes on with me, and I'm embracing it. I'm going to have to say that. I don't care about no little mustache, little hairs here and now. They ain't never stopped me from getting no ass, not at all. Had this all my life. I have been blessed. Thank you, Bill. That's one thing I can say. I'm glad we got a little crowd. See, this is the crowd I like. Everybody that's left half tipsy like me, used up all their little drink coupons, and we ready to have a good time. That's what I'm talking about, grown-ass women up in here. Who in here got the panty liner on just for no reason? Just me? I ain't even got no drawers on and I got a panty liner on. Because I'm a grown-ass woman. That's right, I'm grown. See, this is my crowd right here. Everybody that left, they got to go to work in the morning. And some of us here got to go to work in the morning, but we work for ourselves. Go on and clap if you work for yourself. Thank you. Get up when you feel like it, like myself. Although I'm not used to being up this late at night. I'm not a grandma that I know of, or a mama that I know of. I used to be a mama. I was a stepmom. Anybody here that's a stepmom? Stepkids, stepchildren? No? Just me? Oh, it was the best, worst job ever. If you ever been a stepmom, it's the best, worst job. You know why? Because I was the best, worst stepmom. Meaning that I ain't give a damn what my stepdaughter asked me. That made me the best. And it also made me the worst. Because she used to ask me stuff that ain't have shit to do with being a stepmama. She asking me mama stuff. Can you take me to school? Hell no. That's mama stuff. You supposed to ask me stepmama stuff. Like, do you got a cigarette? Or can you take me around here and get a Plan B pill? That is stepmama stuff. I'm telling them, Bill, I don't do mama stuff because I ain't got no children that I know of. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I exercised my right in 1991. I am for Roe versus Wade because I had to roll down there and wade in the water. I had to do what I had to do because I was not calling my daddy in 1991 and telling him I'm dropping out of school to have a baby. No. I called my 3 male friends. I said, can one of y'all give me a ride where I got to go? So my one friend talking about, you got a car, what you need a ride for? Is your car broke down? I said, no, where I'm going, I need somebody to take me. I can't go by myself. This is 1991. He's talking about, it sounds like you're going to kill my baby. I said, how you know it's your baby? I'm waiting on 2 other people to call me back and give me a ride. Whoever get over here first, y'all can have that argument. I'm telling y'all the truth. This is my story. I look at my niece, she's 24 years old, got 4 kids. Oh, I don't know what's wrong with her. She don't know about Roe versus Wade. I knew about that. I was like, no, my daddy not having it. I'm telling you, I did what I had to do. I drove myself. Ain't nobody want to give me no ride. Fine. I drove my damn self, walked on in, did what I had to do. As I was leaving, the lady gonna say to me, ma'am, is there someone here to sign you out? You cannot leave by yourself. I said, yes. My sister right out in the car waiting for me. Want me to go get her? She said, ma'am, go get her. I walked right outside. I turned right back around. I walked back in. I said, I'm here to pick me up. That's that weed. I ain't gonna lie. That's that weed. I got to stop smoking. I am not gonna lie. Thank God I'm in D.C. and I can say that. I love smoking weed. I've been smoking weed since '82 and I ain't never gonna stop. I consider myself smokist. That means I'm focused and smokers on what I got to do. I ain't gonna lie, but I do need to stop. I do need to cut down. If you smoke weed, it have you sitting outside doing crazy stuff. Anybody in here ever sat outside and watched ants carry shit? Just me? I watched ants carry a whole popsicle stick. I was like, damn, these ants strong. Now I'm in the house getting stuff for the ants to carry. I said, let me see if they can carry this. Oh, they got this spoon. Let me see if they can carry this spoon. That ain't even the sad part. I put my toe on the ant, see how far my leg was gonna go. I'm like, see if they can carry my toe. Said, weed, don't do it, don't do it. Weed, how you doing silly stuff? Anybody ever punched a pin number in the microwave, try to get some money out? Just me? That's because I know I had some money in the microwave. Damn it. I was standing right in front of the microwave. I punched my pin number in. Boo, 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 boo. Ain't nothing happened. Now I'm mad as hell. I'm back in the living room on the phone, calling the bank. I know I got money. Oh, it's the weed. Because now I'm back in the kitchen at the microwave. Boo, 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 boo. Ha, the light came on. I was like, oh, hell no. When did it start taking 2 minutes for your money to come out? Now, man, I'm thinking somebody was going to rob me. I'm looking behind me in the kitchen. 2 minutes for my money to come out? Who in here? It's the weed. Don't start smoking. Don't. But if you do, holler at me after the show. I'm standing right across the street. Funny thing is, when I checked into my room, nice hotel right across the street, Hotel Washington. Oh, I looked out, I see people protesting. So what I love about D.C., it's always some shit happening in D.C. I look out the window, people protesting. I look across, I'm on the 7th floor. I can see everybody computer, people doing work. I say, hell, let me close my curtain for this be some conspiracy shit up in here. Next thing I know, something happened across the hallway. They coming and knock on my room, ask me, did I see anything? I ain't see shit. I know how stuff go down in D.C. I was like, I don't want to see nobody protesting. I don't want to see nobody computer. I don't want to be caught up in nothing. But I am going to let y'all know I'm very nosy. Anybody nosy? I'm a nosy neighbor. If you nosy like me, go on and clap. Thank you. It's good to have a nosy neighbor. You need a person like me that don't miss shit. Thank you. I call the police for everything. They talking about defund the police. Bullshit. I love the police. I call the police at least 1,000 times a year on other people. They ain't never been to my house. Oh, no. Let me not say that. They've been to my house one time. That's because I called the police, and the address I called on was the same address as mine, behind me, 2143 66th Street. I'm on Stanton. I called the police. They knock on my door talking about, we have a call. There was a disturbance here at your house. I said, no, I'm the one that called the police. It's behind my house. They talking about, well, can we walk through your house to get, hell no, y'all can't walk through my house. Then everybody gonna know I called the police. That's not how you do. Drive your ass around to the back. What I look like letting the police out my back door? Thank you. No. I'm going to see something, say something. Now, I can tell you one thing about me. I can back my shit up. If I see something, I'm going to say something because I can fight. Yes, I can do that. I'm a pointer. My husband hates it because I'll be right outside. Oh, yes, that's Darnell right there that stole the person's Instagram. They Instacart groceries off the porch right there, live over there. I'm that person. You need a person like, what? When the census lady came through, she couldn't get 12 people on the block. It's 37 houses on my block. She talking about, oh, I need to finish this up today. I said, well, hell, sit on my porch. I got you. I got you. Who you need? That's Randy right there. I don't know his last name, but he's 37 years old, and 2 people live in a house. She was on my porch 2 hours. I'm going to make sure you get it done because I know everybody. That's how. You need a person like me. I ain't got shit to do but be nosy. Now, one thing, like I told you, I can back my shit up. I'm going to say it again. I can back it up. I remember one day, I'm on the toilet. I'm talking to my sister. I'm just sitting there. Next thing I hear somebody dragging stuff up and down the alley, making noise. And I hear it stop right behind my house. And I'm like, well, what the hell going on? So you know how we do, ladies, when we nose, we just grip our drawers right in the middle. I got up off the toilet. I grabbed him right here, and I'm looking out the window. This brother done stole all this stuff. Now he dragging it. He want to stop behind my house and take a dunk. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Take a dump. I'm holding my drawers. I said, excuse me, what are you doing? Mind your business, lady. I got colitis, and I got to take a shit. I said, I don't give a damn what you got, but you better take it 50 yards down the block because you're not going to be shitting over here by my husband's car. You can't be taking no dump while I'm taking a dump. I can hear you. You can hear me. Get your ass up the block. My sister said, you ignorant for talking to him like that. No, this is my alley. That's right. And my husband's car. You guys going to be taking no human doo-doo by my... Now, if a cat doo-doo out there, I can't do that. But not no grown-ass man. You go up by Miss Myrna's house and take a shit. Don't be down here by my house. I'm just saying. I'm not having no stuff like that. And if he would have, my husband like, why you always talking to people? Why you always saying shit? Because you can fight him and I'm going to help you. That's all it is. That's all it is. I know how I am. I backs me up. I talk a lot of shit, but I can back it up. Oh, y'all enjoying yourself? Oh, I am having a good time up here. Now, I didn't know that I was going to be getting on this late. I've been here since 5:30, which is all good. But if I'd have known that shit, I'd have still been taking me a nap. Oh, come on, y'all know we need a nap. When you turn 50, you need a nap. I'm going to let you know right now, ladies, when you have hot flashes, a nap will shut you down. When you have hot flashes, you can't even have company no more. We can't have no company. I'm telling you right now, my husband will come home from work. I'm standing right by the plants, just rolling up the leaves, one sock on naked. He told me, what you doing with the leaves on the plant? Oh, I was about to smoke these. I'm having a hot flash. Hot flash will shut you down. Last year, I was on the floor. He left the house. I was putting up the Christmas tree, wrapping presents. He came back, he thought I was dead. I was laying on the bag of bowls, half naked, right under the Christmas tree. He thought I was half dead. He thought, what's wrong with you? I said, oh shit, I had a hot flash crash. Hot flashes will take you all the way out. Make you think you dead, I'm telling you. I would go to sleep at 9 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 6, lay back down at 9 o'clock. I wake up at 6 p.m. I'm like, what day is it? He talking about it's 6 p.m. I'm like, ain't this a bitch? You should have woke me up. You know I had a hot flash crash. Ain't nothing wrong with a hot flash crash, but I'm going to tell you what, a hot flash crash will lay you out. Yes. When you have a flash and you call yourself laying under the fan on the bed and you wake up the next day. That's a flash crash. You ain't ready for it yet. But you can't have no company because you always have one sock on, no drawers, and your breasts be hanging out one side of your bra. You know about that. I will have a crash. Michelle just flashed me. I know I can't be up in here all night. Shit, I'm tired. I ain't gonna lie. I got an 8 o'clock spa appointment. I am going to enjoy that. I need it. Believe me, I just came from Barbados. Y'all don't know. I got a little tan. You may not notice it, but I got a little tan. But I'm all messed up because I left Barbados, went straight to New York. I was freezing. Left New York, went to L.A. 2 days ago, it was freezing in L.A. And now I'm here, and it's freezing. Thank you. And then I had nerve to have my legs out. Freezing with my old ass. With the old lady knee. Thank you, but you know I had to pull my knees up. Ain't nothing like had to pull your knees up. Now I know my grandma used to keep them stockings underneath them. Let me pull my knee up. That's old school. I love getting older. I'm going to let y'all know that right now. I love being a grown-ass woman. Before I get off the stage, y'all going to say y'all seen B-flat. These little few people in here, and y'all going to tell somebody. I'm going to do my little song. It's called Muddy Shoes. Yes, I wrote this for all the grown-ass people that's handling their business and ain't worried about no red bottoms. Who in here got on some red bottoms? Exactly. See, this is what I love. These are the people that I admire. The unsung heroes. Regular ass folks ain't thinking about no $2,500 shoes. DJ, you got my song. Hold up. I want everybody to make sure they listen to Muddy Shoes. You ready, DJ? I wrote this for all the people going out buying $2,500 shoes. B-flat. Y'all ain't ready? Say, I got sense. I'm not spending money on them damn shoes. Say, I got sense. I'm not spending money on them damn shoes. I got sense. I'm not spending money on them damn shoes. Comprehensive, what brains I got them. I make home improve. Home Depot or it's either Lowe's. I don't want to choose. And I'm quick by some window caulk or some other tools. Look, I got land now. I make home improves. I got land, what? These are muddy shoes. If you see me pulling weeds, planting flowers in different hues, hanging drywall, fixing P-traps. These are muddy shoes. Follow me if you want to see where I'm at. I'll be probably in my basement, trying to fix a leak. DIY, hire nobody, cause I can do it for free. I be in and out IKEA so much, I know they got stock in me. Constantly listing stuff around the house, there's gotta be. Mop the floor and clean the kitchen out here sweeping streets. And you know I gotta smoke, cause this trash, it bothers me. And my neighbors see me cleaning, they don't help, they only speak. I might just rearrange a space, it's always something to do. I might just pull out a paint, I might just rearrange a space. I'm tired. Oh, Melanie. I can't believe I forgot the words of my own song. That's that weed. I'm tired, I came in on the wrong track. DJ Dynasty, what's your name? I'm sorry. DJ what? Divine. I said DJ Dynasty, I'm sorry. Sorry, DJ Divine. It's the weed. I had a little memory. Had a little memory lapse. And I'm tired as hell. And Michelle done flashed me 3 times. I know we got to get out of here. I hope y'all enjoyed my show. If you did not hear Michelle when she said I have a dope DIY podcast, it's called Frugal Flip, Tighten Up Tuesday. I teach people how to take the stuff they already have, flip it and make it into something else. Every Tuesday, watch it if you can on YouTube. 9 p.m. It's myself, co-host Sherry Shepard when she's available. If not, I always have somebody else on helping me out. Check out Tighten Up Tuesdays on YouTube. I'm doing it. Thank you so much, Michelle. And I'm sorry you flashed me 1,000 times and I didn't get off the stage. Sorry.
No. Y'all can't, before she goes, y'all, can y'all please give it up one more time for B Flat? B, stay right here. Tamika, can you get a picture of me and B? I'm petty. It's at the end now. I could be petty. Everybody else done ate. Everybody else done ate, had a drink. I just been up here working. Y'all give it up for B Flat one more time. Mel coming up here.
Oh, come on, Mel.
And you coming now. Oh, okay.
My brain.
Thank you. Can we say good night? Party for, hang around a little while, have a few more drinks. Thank you so very much, everyone who was able to hang. Love you all, and good night.